Greetings and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and this is our campaign of Masks set in the fictional city of Doctropolis. Masks is a game by Brendan Conway and is powered by the apocalypse. I am playing Null the Beacon, who has just found out something terrible, and he also uses he, him pronouns. His mentor has been trapped up here. It's not good. Well, let's go around and say hi to everybody and find out who they're playing. And today we shall start with Thtrnerd. Hello.
Hi. You know, you do this to me like every week, or at least the last couple of weeks, and I'm never prepared for this.
I always start with a different person every week. This is the first one that's been you.
No, you've started with me at least one other time. First. Anyway, my name is Thtrnerd. I use they, them pronouns. Today I am playing Mika Blackraven, our reformed nutcase, former supervillain turned superhero. She uses she, her pronouns just to keep things confusing, but I'm really happy to be here. Yesterday was my birthday. Fun fact.
Happy belated birthday.
This is the best belated birthday present ever, by the way.
Yay! Awesome. Now let us head over to Kat. Hello.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm at Clerk of Court, and I play Metawarp, who uses she, they pronouns. And if you're curious about what's going on with my cam, it's because she exists in grayscale.
Yes, entirely.
And I am using the Nova playbook.
Awesome. And now let us head down to Pepper. Hello.
Hello. My name is Pepper. I use they them pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at mebethem4815, and I play Puck, the gender fluid, genderqueer delinquent with the box braids.
Excellent. And now we shall go over to Wally. Hello.
Hello, I'm Wally, go by he, him pronouns. I'll be playing Ezekiel, aka Phobos, who also uses he, him pronouns. He is the protege playbook, and he has his own white whale these days.
From hell's heart I stab at thee.
I don't know if he wants to stab it or not. He just has a white whale that he's chasing these days.
This is true.
What is the first line from that book?
Are you?
Oh, call me Ishmael.
Wrong.
Wait, oh, it isn't?
It's the first line of chapter 1.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Let's call spades spades. Is he chasing it, or is it chasing him?
Either way, Moby Dick sucks. Speaking as a former English major, God, it's so boring. It's like the old man of the sea.
It's not a good
it's just one of those things in my head as a bit of trivia, because it's one of the most commonly held pieces of information to be true that is not true. That Call Me Ishmael is the first line of Moby Dick.
What is the first line of Moby Dick?
No, it's not. It's the first line of chapter 1.
No, I said what is the first line? No, I'm asking you, what is the first line of Moby Dick?
I had it just a while ago.
That's a very strange opening line.
It is the pale usher, threadbare in coat, heart, body, and brain.
Is that part of is it like a coda or a forward or a?
He's got. There's 2 bits at the beginning which go over a couple of bits and pieces. I'm trying to remember what they called it. There's a chapter which is entitled Etymology and another one which is entitled Extract, which both come before chapter 1.
It's really weird. I read that as part of when sometime in high school, and I had this really big edition of it, and it's like 3 or 4 different books as a single book, including textbooks on marine life and how to be a sailor. But enough of that. Let's introduce and head things over to our GM today, Mole. Hello.
Hi, I'm Mole at Malthulu. I am pronoun ambivalent, but they, them is probably the most appropriate. I don't care. I play everyone else, which is, fun. Yes, so, first off, The world is ending. The person who helped you become a hero and mentored you, Null, isn't dead. End of the world.
No, it's terrifying. Well, no, it's not the end of the world. The terrible thing is that it's like she's been apparently held kidnapped all this time, and
But that does
it's
bring
like,
us to
Yeah.
the cover of issue 5, A New Dawn.
Oh boy.
This black and white cover shows a grayscale image depicting the portrait of Dr. Twilight in full mask and costume. A white block depicts a doorway in which you can see a silhouette of her in street clothes, back showing, walking fences, fists clenched. The light stretches from the door along the floor to the forefront of the page, where we see her domino mask lying on the floor next to telltale crescent moon shapes of her throwing blades. The text below reads, "A hero no more?" ?
Oh boy.
That just
Let's
gave
find out what that's all about, shall we?
Jeez,
Oh
Mole.
boy.
Wow, punch us with the feels 2 minutes in. Not even.
It's not even feels. It's just like, what?
It's like a ton of bricks, man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's save Dr. Twilight.
Okay, just FYI, folks, there is a good chance that I'll end up muting my microphone at some point and just having a coughing fit. Don't worry, I'm fine. I've had chest issues since I was a baby. I know how to. They're fine. They just look worse than they are.
Just don't die on stream. We're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's against the TOS.
You know, I don't think dying on stream is specifically against the TOS.
I'll have to go through and read it. I mean, there'll be a.
And how would they enforce that anyway? What are they?
They ban your username after death.
Well,
But you're dead. What the fuck is that?
Let's
gonna
just
do?
hope that we don't have the opportunity to find out. That's kind of the important thing here.
Yeah, fair.
I mean,
Okay. We left off last session with you all having just rescued Dr. Twilight from a container with magical restraints within. Unless any of you have something specific you're really pressing right now, I'm going to say that she tells you that you need to hurry, and you'll talk when you're out. At which point you manage to get the captured people, rescue them, and get them out.
That was the plan.
And we'll pick this up,
That was
and we
definitely
will
the
pick
plan.
this up at another location where you can actually talk without something pressing in the background.
I think,
unless
but
of course.
I think,
we take her back to the train, don't we?
well, see, that's the thing. I was thinking that we should take her back to Moor Tower.
The Metal Warp's on. I mean, as soon as they're clear and they've got a moment, she's on comm to her dad, going, "We've got Dr. Twilight."
Null is not thinking straight right now, and is basically just wanting to get her to wherever is safe immediately. And so it's whatever is closest is what he's thinking right now.
Well, the closest would be Moor Tower. And Twilight would say that, Moor Tower might be an idea because they've got her medical files.
Right. They're better equipped to handle medical.
Considering everything, I think it would be best if we take her to Moor Tower. Because they have files on her. She is used that place as a location of base many times before. And Moor probably has questions to ask her also.
Yeah, fair.
And Zeke looks over, and Phobos looks over at Null. He says, "Are you fine with that?"
Yeah, anywhere. Let's just get out of here.
All right.
Okay, so you get. So what happens is you manage to get the people out. I'll say that you contact Moore. Moore manages to get something immediately in motion to effectively pick up all the people that escaped and take them somewhere safe. Also gets Paladin involved after the fact, after you've all left, to basically go in and secure the location. And then gets you a lift to Moor Tower. Pretty high speed.
I think once we get there, he'll look over at Puck and know. Wait. First of all, did we the transport that we took the people over to Moore Tower, was it provided by Moore, or did we just swipe one of those ambulances?
Well, there weren't any ambulances, but he sends over adequate. The things that they had at the building were, transit lorries.
Okay.
But yeah, he has, because you're relatively close, he sends an ambulance specifically for Dr. Twilight because she's been out of sight for God knows how long. And effectively a load of minivans with corporate security, driver, and additional guard, basically for you and for the people that you rescue, and will take them to a secure shelter until they want to go wherever they want to go.
All right, so then I'll turn to Null and Puck. I say, while we leave, make us invisible. We cannot be tracked by cameras. We can't be tracked by anything right now. We should be ghosts right now. Can you do that?
Metalwarp will make sure that Null gets in the ambulance with Dr. Twilight to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's basically, as soon as, I will say that as far as folks will notice, as soon as we saw that it was Twilight, Null has not said very much. He was just very immediately trying to figure out how to get the restraints off. And he was trying to check into see if the thing had programming. Apparently, if it was arcane restraints, I don't know how we got how we got her out, or if she was conscious to help us or not.
Well, Puck would have immediately handed over the syringe full of the antidote to Skylar immediately.
He would have, just basically done every possible thing to immediately get her out. And so right now he's very much in sort of the adrenaline zone right now.
As soon as you remove the restraint,
not going to leave her
it wasn't
side.
hard. Mm-hmm. As soon as you'd removed the restraint from her hand, from her arm, when you go there, she started waking up.
Yeah.
Gut reaction is that the arcane thing was basically to keep her unconscious.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, immediate gut reaction on Null's part would have been just sort of like, after getting restrained off, hug, then like, oh god, no, can we just get you out? And so at this point, Null is going to hop into whatever the ambulance is with the doctor. He's not leaving her side. But he's going to hop in with her, and while that's going on, he's going to work on just basically, since he did hear what Phobos said, he's going to just be on immediately, making them invisible.
Puck is going to snap their fingers, just reach over and put a hand on Zeke's shoulder. Nobody can see us now. Just trust me, okay?
All right, good. All right, let's go. And
there are convenient glitches in the CCTV network of the city along this route.
That's strange.
All right, let's go. And once they get there, pretty much, I'll even instruct them to go the way that I remember as the secret tunnel up from that direct elevator from the parking basement up to the top.
Yeah, you get taken to a medical bay. This one is specifically Malcolm's medical bay. The only other times you've seen this one being used for people that aren't Malcolm is when you've had an injury.
Okay. I also contact Q ahead of time to let him know that we have Twilight.
Okay. Moore is waiting for you in there. Nobody else is. You get a message back from Ronin saying, it seems like Magna Carta's waking up and is going to have a meal. I'll head over as soon as I can.
See you soon. Doesn't look good, Dad. That's kind of tossed on real quick at the end.
Okay, Twilight. The best way to describe it is physically, they're fine. You can't see any obvious physical signs of anything wrong, apart from maybe, some red marks where the restraints were. But you can see that they're very, very sluggish. And, You know that moment when you first wake up and you have absolutely no idea what
Yeah.
planet Earth is, let alone that you're on it.
Yeah.
What year
It's
is
kind
it?
of like that.
Did she have her costume on when we found her, or was
Yes.
she out of the costume? Okay. Did we ever describe what that looked like? Did
Well,
you have an
she
idea?
had
or
her
did I?
costume on.
Yeah.
She had her full costume on. Her domino mask had been ripped off.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Basically, whoever captured her obviously wanted to know who Dr. Twilight
that's
was.
really- Cool. I always imagined she had this weird sort of trench coat like thing that basically sort of the detective type thing, but then also had like other other various equipments.
Malcolm informs you that his men are, his security are in the process of administering the antidote to everybody in there and shipping them off. It's a relatively low rent motel that he owns, which is currently just finished being renovated. He'll get them all moved there and have security there to keep them safe. They'll be free to leave whenever they want, but and he'll also make sure that some medical attention is given to everybody there, just to put all your minds at ease.
Is there any chance we could talk to them before they all decide to vanish?
I will pass it on that you'd like to talk to them, and my people will ask them, general questions. But you're right; you'll probably get better answers out of them from what the reports I've got.
Quite a few of them are my people, so I'd like to talk to them in person.
I very much doubt. I mean, the drugs that have been kept under, they're not going anywhere until probably this evening. Remember, this is the middle of the night. Until tomorrow evening at the earliest, because it's going to take that long for the drugs to work, start working their way out of the system.
What is the commonality? We need to find the commonality between all of them and Dr. Twilight.
There has to be a reason why they were all held together in the same place. It can't be just a simple coincidence.
And they also
Psycho very possibly could be a coincidence.
You hear from the background, this might help, and you see Twilight just leans up for a second, does a couple of gestures, and you see a part of her forearm. It shimmers a little bit, and you can see that it's got a strap on there, and she pulls out a USB. Effectively, it appears. It's like she's made it invisible, and she pulls out a USB stick and hands it over.
Puck takes it and plugs it immediately into their tablet and opens it up.
Okay. Effectively, it is a data dump from the night she was captured of the computer systems in that place, including CCTV, etc. You see that she's now got, after handing the USB, a look of purpose comes over her, and you see her do that whole thing of, okay, this is when it matters. I'm going to push through whatever other shit I've got going on. And she goes, I went there investigating the Hutchinsons because it was a weird move for them to get that parking structure. When I arrived, the Hutchinsons, both of them, were having a meeting with another party. I didn't get a good look, but there should be footage on there that you might be able to get something off of. And it seemed like this third party was giving the Hutchinsons orders. So it looks like they were contracted to do whatever they were doing there. What I heard was that the Hutchins were to transport cargo from pickup points to that central holding area, and they had to do it so nobody knew. I don't know what the cargo was, although I have an idea from what I caught on the way out of there. But yeah, next thing I knew, I heard a shout from one of the various guards around, and there is no way it was anything non-mystical that knocked me out that fast.
So you're saying they have another sorcerer on their side?
They've got somebody that has at least a little talent, yes.
Does any of this ring a bell? I figure I've been out for like 2 years. Have they worked with?
Oh, this is since then. The Hutchinsons, if I remember correctly, it was a year ago that you two did the team up to rescue Twilight and Midnight.
Yeah, that was like a 1 year ago.
And it was a few months after that Twilight disappeared.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
So it would have been 8-9 months ago.
Can I ask if Moore has an untraceable phone line?
Who?
If Moore does in his tower, which I'm going to assume the answer is yes.
Yes. It's hard to track any of your phones that are provided by Moore.
I know, but I'm
have
not.
to be somebody on Null's level to be able to trace those phone calls.
I would like to reach out to one of my contacts.
Okay. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Also, Puck is going to hand the tablet over to Skylar. Take a look at this, honey. What do you think?
Yeah. And while this has been going on, I've just sort of asking, what did they do to you? Did they just have you out for 9 months? What happened?
My guess is some sort of slumber spell or enchantment or whatever, because I have absolutely no memory between the shout of alert that they'd seen me. Next thing I knew was seeing you undoing the restraints.
Oh my God.
Non-mystically, I would have had some bout of consciousness in between.
I'm glad I was right that you were alive. Yeah. And I'm just sort of looking at the tablet that Puck has handed me while I'm sort of talking, trying to multitask, but you can tell that Null's not quite in the space that he should be in to do this properly, but he's taking a look.
Okay, you can see there's lots of files, paperwork, as it were, but there is also a variety of CCTV on there. If you wanted to, you could ask Nanny to process the video footage in the background and show you anything interesting.
I think I'm going to do that, just so that to get my own processing in place. The one thing I am going to say, and I think there's a little fight going on in Null's head right now as to whether or not to tell Rana about this one thing that might prove. Yeah. I'm going to call the unit we visited. I'm just going to give a name to the unit that I visited a few episodes ago. Did someone went in, was in Unit 12 just a little while ago, just a few, was it like a couple of weeks ago, something like that, I think, well...
About a week.
About a week. Was in Unit
Tops,
12.
because we haven't had a lot of time pass.
Yeah, they wiped the footage and thing. I was hoping it was, hoping it was you, but clearly not. Was there anything? It didn't seem like anything was missing from in there, just inventory wise. But if there was anything special about that unit, then I can go back and do another sweep, absolutely, if need be.
Madam Crystal, just go the book. At Skylar.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a book?
Was there a book? There was a book. Was it? That's right. There was like a space where there was a book missing.
Hole in the. Yeah. Yep, there was a book missing.
Okay, that's right. So I didn't actually tell anyone that I went and did that. But thank you for reminding
knowledge
me.
from Metawarp.
Thank you for reminding me. There was a book missing. It was in between a couple of titles. It was, and actually, I probably took a picture of it. So I'm the thing doing the thorough detective thing. So I'd be like, that one's missing.
Number 12 on that's the one on third, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, 1 second.
Oh God, no, it's okay. I mean, we can figure it out later. We don't need to.
The only book of interest in there would be the one on technomancy.
Of course. We've had some things.
The fusion of the arcane with the technological. That one specifically dealt with, the easiest way to say it is magic circuit boards.
Magic circuit boards? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
they don't need electricity because they use magic to fuel them. You can do this. Basically, you'd end up being able to create technological items which would not be detected as technological items through mundane means of detection. So
Bad.
they'd also be immune to electronic magnetic pulses.
So, for example, if someone were to scan for them, any kind of signature they left behind, they wouldn't leave any kind of footprint.
Well, yeah, if someone was looking for tech, they wouldn't come up. If someone was looking for magic, they would, because they are magic.
Of course.
Like Phobos is just having like a bit of a self-realization moment under the mask, and he's like, oh, I see.
That relate in any way to time travel, time dilation?
Oh,
Yeah.
time dilation. When you two rescued us. Oh, that's the only experience of time dilation I had.
I'm
mean,
I'm going over and getting her a pitcher of water type deal.
Okay.
Now.
We get a cutback to a couple of pages, which covers the rescue of Midnight and Twilight from. Basically, what you see a panel which has this portal that's open in the back. Off to the side, you have Null, who's at this panel. It's kind of arcane, but it's laid out quite a bit like how you'd expect a technological workstation to be. Madly trying to doing something in order to keep this portal open. The across there you've got the portal, and then you've got Zeke is sort of halfway into the portal reaching down. The next panel you can see is him pulling Midnight and Twilight out of where they were. And she goes on to say, while we were that place you rescued us from, I've done some research, and it's a pocket dimension. It was created magically as part of a penal system. The idea being is that they'd be able to send their prisoners there. They'd be able to complete long sentences without time progressing as fast on the outside world. The thing that made it interesting is the dimension would effectively reach into the psyche of its prisoners and develop some sort of thing within the prison that would be the ideal form of rehabilitation for that prisoner. The impression I got from my research is it didn't quite work properly. I don't know what was wrong with it.
Well, it was certainly easy to break into. I'm just saying, if it's a prison, it wasn't certainly doing his job.
It depends on how magically adept your population is.
That's fair.
But yeah, from what you told me, you came looking for us about 24 hours after you hadn't had any contact.
We're still thinking about a year ago, or are we talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is about a year ago.
Yeah.
About 24 hours after we lost contact.
Yeah.
We were in there 2 weeks.
Okay, so that's why the time dilation. Wow.
Well,
Okay.
that's all right.
We've got to stop doing this. We're going to make a habit of it.
Yeah. I just want to know who took me out.
Yeah.
I think that's something we all want to know right now.
Well, if you give me a few moments, especially with Nanny and Skylar, if he is willing, I'm sure we could put our resources together and we could scan through the files that you got and we can figure something out.
Okay, we will cut to Mika making a phone call.
Yes, I would like to contact my contact, Scarlet Duchess. She's my insider information broker.
Is this the one that you spoke to last time?
No, that would have been Robo Piercer. Would have been the
All right.
last one.
Okay. Okay.
I might have called her the first time when we were doing.
Okay, there is definitely something up with my batteries. That one's just gone.
So I will call her up. Wait. Oh. Does she answer?
I'm listening. Yeah, she answers.
Hi, I have a question for you. Do you have any idea what my parents are up to?
A
Specifically kidnapping people
lot.
and locking them up? And I'm away from the group. Like, I'm not talking this, like, frankly in front of the rest of the group.
Okay, I don't know if they've been kidnapping people, but I know they've had a project on the books which has been kept to a close-knit group. I reckon there's half a dozen inside the organization that know details. This would certainly fall into that sort of ballpark.
Do you have any idea who the other members are?
Well, there'd be your parents. There'd be, oh God, what's his name? The one who's kind of like a manservant, always there, taking down the details. I forget his name, but yeah, him.
Anyone else? That
Outside of that, it would have been, the impression I got is those three would be the only three that would know the entire operation. Everybody else, it was done as on a very cell-like basis. So each of the other sets of people would know the part they directly dealt with, and that's it. It was one of those. I got word that there was very much an operation going on that asking questions could get you killed.
it's the Hutchinson family. Why am I surprised?
Yeah, there's the threat of being killed on most things, but there's the occasional time they mean it.
I'm aware when you call and talk to your mother and she says, "I want your head," it makes it pretty obvious that turning coat is a murderable offense.
Okay, just out of character. That's not what she said.
What did she say?
She said, "You're dead." 2 words. That's it.
Okay, then I misremembered as a player, and that's what I would have said.
Okay.
But either way.
Oh yeah, there's a bounty on your head.
Oh, cool. Any way you could spin it that I left town? I know after my stunt that might be difficult.
Look, best I can do is I'm not going to spread that I've been talking to you or know that you're here, but I'm not going to outright lie because that's just going to get my head on the chopping block.
I mean, that's fair. Kind of appreciate continuing to have you as a contact. I kind of like you alive. Well, I should get back to the group because the information that you gave me doesn't really surprise me at all.
Okay, we'll switch back. What'll probably be easiest now, unless anybody's got a specific scene they want to cover, is we'll cut time. Basically, that Puck and Noel can go off and start looking at the footage or the data that's been found. Other people can do whatever they're doing. While Twilight rests, you also know that you've got a conscious Magna Carta back at the subway.
Is it Ronan coming our way?
Yeah.
He said he was going to head over as soon as he could.
I will say it takes a little bit of doing to get Null out of the room with Twilight, but eventually we'll get him out of there.
No, Puck would crack open their laptop right next to Null, and do their work with him right by Twilight's bedside. They know there's no separating Null, and they know work needs to be done, so they're willing to adapt.
And I think Chris would have just once when she had a chance, she would say, "Ronan's on his way. We found Magna Carta," and then when everybody was busy, she would just slip out.
Wait, she's alive?
There's a new one.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. There's a Magna Carta, but
yeah,
she was a friend.
Well, Ronan trusts this new one, so we have to trust Ronan, right?
Oh, you can always trust Magna Carta.
Did Ronan say they were bringing Magna Carta here?
No.
All right, then we'll need to go back to the base and check on the Magna Carta.
Well, that's what Chris was going to do. Is once she informed that Dr. Twilight what was going on with Magna Carta and that Ronan was on his way, she would have slipped out and headed back to the station to keep an eye on Magna Carta.
Okay, so who's heading back?
I'm going to head back to the station to check on Magna Carta also, since they have this here.
And what's Mika up to?
I will go back. I don't think I can offer anything to hacker peeps at
Hacker bros.
Okay, as you guys start leaving out the room, you just hear, from the back, Twilight go, "Damn, she only $50."
And she'll look at her and go, "Ronan's good for it," and walk out.
I love it.
Setting up your dad's always the best.
And before y'all head back, Puck is going to give each and every one of you a hug, and they're going to kiss Zeke right on the cheek and tell y'all to come back safe and to just not do anything too stupid.
No promises. Stupid's my shtick.
Especially you, Mika, honey. Be careful.
There's monitors up in here where you can see what Moore's agents have been up to. At this point, you can see that the minivans have left. A few of his agents have stayed. He's got corporate guys have stayed behind. All that stuff. But you can now see that Paladin have turned up, and that place is on lockdown.
I will also say before, as everyone is getting ready to leave, Null will just come to the side a little bit, just very simply say, "Thank you very much." And he's going to probably, he will say it again when he says it again to Chris. He's just going to grab her. He's going to grab their hand, and just kind of do the thing where he puts the other hand on top of it, and he's not going to have any idea of saying anything. He's just going to say thank you, and then he's going to go back to coding.
Chris,
basically
you all are teasers.
Giving it a little squeeze, just because she was attending to just put a hand on his shoulder before she left, just give it a squeeze before she left and not say anything. But she just gives his hand a little squeeze. It's like, it's gonna be all right. She's safe.
I guess it is now. Thank you.
Of course.
like Phobos is like looking between them both, like, so I'm gonna go.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And he'll actually do even the thing at that point. Well, at that point, he'll even take his hand and kind of like stroke kind of like the side of their shoulder and or. But then
Puck is just going to gently grab Zeke's elbow and tug him away to give them a moment. Those two
Got
a
it.
moment.
Like you see Zeke just get pulled out the seam like that. Oh, okay.
it's just kind of standing there like, I've never been quite touched like this by another person other than my father.
Yeah.
Not sure how to react. Because when Puck had gone in for the hug, Chris would have kind of ducked it a bit.
Yeah.
So it's very passive. So she's kind of like,
Yeah,
It'll
so it
be
just
okay.
holds it for just a second too long. It's that awkward
Yeah.
second, and he's like, and he's kind of like, yeah, gotta get to work. And so he goes over and starts viciously coding, and basically he's going to stay in the room until Rana tells him to leave, because that's probably what it's going to take.
Chris is just confused, and
Yeah,
I guess we just need to go.
yeah.
Right.
I think
Okay.
Mika will take Chris and be like, I think it's time to leave and let these two work now.
Oh, yeah. No, it's fine. She
Right.
was
Yes.
already turned around and gone.
Yeah. He heads out, kind of confused by that whole like that weird like awkward moment they were having of like just patting each other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chris she didn't even, all she's done is he's got her hand and she's just kind of giving it a bit of a squeeze, and then he reaches up and she's like, okay. I don't know what this means or if I like it or not, but you know, a dog that's never quite this is it's like, oh.
Did we bring the bikes with us?
Yeah, your bikes can drive themselves home.
Oh,
How do we get home?
More give you have somebody
I
drive.
mean, I can
Yeah.
roof jump. That's no thing for me.
I can pretend I'm.
Meta Warp just goes, fine, and then just cuts a portal and just kind of grabs Zeke and Mika and shoves them through and follows behind them.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Love it.
Like you know that when a cat gets like thrown, like gets like chucked out of a room. That's how Zeke lands on the other side of the portal. He's like, oh.
Just
Whoa. I don't know how I feel about that happening. I
Like,
think
you
we
can
should ask for consent.
He's just
I
standing there
wouldn't
like,
have said no, but
oh.
As you appear in the subway, you can see Ronin is carrying over a couple of cups of mugs of coffee and handing one of them over to the now awake. I forgot to write her name down. God, what was it? I've forgotten. I'll find it on the break.
insert really clever
Magna
name
Carta.
here.
Yeah, I'll try and find it on the break. So, is awake. Seems okay.
Rodin, thank you for helping out, keeping an eye on Magna Carta while we were gone.
It's all good. At which point she actually says, "Oh, you're the guys who got me out of there."
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Also-
Well, some of them. There's a few of us are stayed with Dr. Twilight.
I mean, thanks to you also, because you also played a big part in that whole rescue event.
well,
Thank you.
I know of Puck. But yeah. Certainly interesting. Ronin's been filling in some blanks as to what happened.
Yeah.
I see.
Before last night, I was just your run-of-the-mill law student.
And then you just... How did you obtain... Well, he just waves his hand over them, like, all of this.
Oh, when I changed, I'm still working myself through it, but it's kind of like I got this entire back history of knowledge and lifetimes in my head. And the way it seems to work is there always needs to be a Magna Carta, as it were. And if one falls, within a short period of time, another is chosen. And, not to brag, but the requirement is apparently someone truly dedicated to the spirit of justice.
See, you said a not short period.
It varies.
So it wouldn't be one day later or a couple of hours later.
No, it can. In the grand scheme of the ages, a single year is not a long period of time.
You got a point there.
Is closer to, I believe, the gap between myself and.
So, I'm Chris, and you wouldn't happen to remember owing Dr. Twilight or Rana $50, would you?
Chris is too pure.
Somehow I get the feeling that might have been a previous Magna Carta's mortal self.
Yes, it was.
I don't have their memories.
Okay, and then she'll turn to her dad and go, so I told Rana that you would cover it.
Chris.
Of course you did.
Oh my gosh.
Mika probably actually laughs out loud at this. Like, oh my god, really?
You couldn't have shifted onto the multi-billionaire more, could you?
That's too easy.
When
of a
has he
target.
ever covered anybody's debts?
He still owes me $10. But though he did pay me back $20 once, so it kind of balances out, I suppose.
But yeah, okay.
Why don't we just pay her from our allowance?
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Then it's kind of like more.
We'll
paid
get
her off
it. We'll take
anyway.
care of it, Dad. Don't worry about it. And then I think Chris is wanting.
I'll be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
If Dr. Twilight was talking about someone owing them $50, they probably weren't expecting it back.
That's okay. We can pay. I would be more than happy to give them Moore's money.
I think we have it
my
covered.
pocket.
Regardless, what do you plan on doing next?
Well, I guess much of the same as before, and now some new interesting stuff.
Well, maybe you should stay and train with us, because you seem pretty wiped out after that fight with Blue Line.
Maybe.
What she's
I'm
saying is
hoping.
you're welcome here if you need a place.
Yeah, I mean that's a better way of putting it. We have a really nice training room. It's probably dried out already. It's got really good drainage and.
I might stop in, but I've got things in my normal life that need to be carried on.
Right. Just remember this, though. It's like you said yourself. To become Magna Carta, you have to have a sense of duty and towards justice. Being that you're someone who's a law student, is kind of ingrained into your knowledge that to become one. So consider this.
Well, there is a difference between the letter of law and the spirit of justice.
This is very true.
And they often contradict.
Some laws are unjust.
Exactly. So just remember.
I mean, that's one of the reasons I was where I was in the first place.
What was going on there?
I don't know if you remember, but last time the mayor got elected, she made this big speech about cleaning up homelessness and all that sort of stuff, and they've managed to get the funds sorted out, get all the this, that, and the other sorted, but then nothing changed. So I was doing what I could. I mean, I'm dressed this way because if you remember, she's dressed quite scruffily, in old clothes. I'm dressed this way because if you walk up to the homeless in a suit, they're not going to talk to you.
It's true.
And I was just going down there. I've met and befriended a few, making sure basics are covered, make sure they've eaten, basic supplies, socks, that sort of thing.
So can I run an idea past you? You help the homeless? I want to either fund kids with Moore's money or start a karate martial arts dojo, for lack of a better word, for the underprivileged or the homeless.
I can definitely put you in contact with a couple of good people that work with the homeless that might be able to help in that sort of regard.
I mean, I've got $2,000. That's all I've got from Daddy Moore. I mean, from Moore right now. And I'd rather it go to the homeless than to my pocket.
Well, that's up to you.
So who were those men there and why was Blue Line there? What happened?
Okay. Like I said, I was there to meet up with this homeless lad called Nigel. And I was, I'd picked up some, takeaway, thought I'd treat him, nice kid. And we were just sitting there having a chat, trying to go over any things that struck out from his story that would allow him to go into one of the existing assistance programs, which hasn't weirdly disappeared in the past few years. Next thing I know, those troopers just barge in, and as soon as they, I knew from the sound of them breaking in that this was not going to go well for Nigel, so I told him to run, and he did. My plan was, I'm a law student. They could come in. I could point out who I was, and everything would be fine. They came in with the guns up and all that stuff. Next thing I know, whatever that guy was comes smashing through one of the windows and starts opening up on the troops.
His name is Blue Line.
Right. Yeah, I think I remember something about him in the news.
He's kind of terrible. Like, his whole thing is that he likes to take justice into his own hands.
Right. Okay.
He's a little irritated that people like you, people like the rest of us exist, taking away good jobs from good cops.
That doesn't really explain why he would go out unless...
But why was he opening on the troop? Was he opening? He opened fire on the troopers, right?
I can tell you this. Those troops were not legit. I don't know how I know this, but as soon as that transformation happened, I knew that they were...
I could have told you that.
It's private security, yeah? That's what you're saying.
Or it was a show put on by Blue Line.
I wouldn't know how to identify between private security, survivalists, actual paladin troops, etc. I don't have that knowledge.
They definitely were not.
They weren't paladin.
And they definitely weren't any kind of hired thugs that Blue Line would hire. He likes to work alone. That's his whole MO. To hire anyone outside of him to help him do his job is against his whole plan. So that's unlike him.
That's what I was doing there. And then the transformation happened, and the impression I got is the reason why I was in such bad shape was because that transformation had never happened before. The spirit of justice was infusing itself with me, and that was a thing. It sounds so arrogant. The spirit of justice chose me. That's going to take some getting used to.
Well, we're happy to have you. We're happy you're back.
And,
That sounds weird. You're welcome here, and we'll help in whatever way we can.
Magna Carta was one of my heroes. One of the reasons why I chose law.
They did mention one thing, that when it comes to Magna Carta, there's that the previous Magna Carta is almost aware of who the next one is. Do you think, did you encounter them in some way in the past?
Who knows? I mean, I know my physical appearance changed when I changed. It wasn't just a costume thing. So, well, I mean, it's possible that in my normal life, I knew.
Well, you're not the only one that's learning. So, they said if you need a place.
I've got a lot to unpack. I really appreciate the offer, but I'm not going to answer just yet.
Our door is always.
I'm just saying, you're not the only one, and if you need people who understand, you're welcome here. Do you want Dad? Is she eating, or is it just a coffee?
Oh, I'm good. I actually am probably going to make a move. I have classes in a couple of hours.
All right. Well, if you want to grab a shower, and she looks to look them over. I think we can find something that'll fit you if you want to grab a shower and change before you.
My place is on the way to campus, so.
All right. Well, nice to meet you.
At least assuming I am roughly where I think I am.
Probably.
You probably are.
So yeah, but if you need us, reach out. We're here.
Will do. Are you guys giving her any sort of contact information?
I give them my card, which has kind of like an IP address on it, that if they type this IP address into like a computer, it will connect to a VoIP line rather than a cellular.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, one of the things that Chris would have asked about before she left was gotten a description of Nigel.
Oh, good call.
Okay, you get a description. He's probably 15, blonde hair. She gives you a description of somebody that you would assume would be a jock, but wasn't a jock. If that makes sense. Right.
And she would have asked where did she know what part of the city he normally hung out in, or everything? Because as soon as she's got all of this information, she's going to send it to Puck and say, do you know who this kid is?
Right. She passes over what information she can remember, and including the couple of places she'd met him.
All right.
Does Mika recognize him, the description of him?
Not really. I mean, there's a lot of homeless in the city at the moment. There's a lot more than there should be. The homeless over the past 5 years has almost trebled, especially amongst the young.
That's unusual. Crystal
And
passed that on to Puck about Nigel and all of that stuff. Just send him a quick text message about it.
I mean, and considering, like Magna Carta told you, that's especially worrying considering there are approved things on the books to almost eliminate homelessness. They just haven't been put into action.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, no, you.
I was just going to ask, does Puck know this Nigel guy?
You reckon you might have seen him about, but you haven't formed, any particular relationship with him.
Okay. So Puck lets Chris know that.
Hey, Zeke.
Once Magna Carta leaves, like the suit goes back into his body. He looks over at Mika. Yes.
Can we talk for a minute, maybe?
Sure. Is here fine, or do you want to go someplace else?
Someplace else.
Okay. Follow me. And he heads out of the base, and he heads over. He let them follow him, and he hops up a fire escape to a rooftop to a building nearby.
I want to say I'm sorry. I feel like I've let you down and disappointed you and let you down some more and did a bunch of disappointing, and I'm sorry.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mika, but your apology is accepted. But you have no reason to apologize to me, honestly.
Kind of been a jerk to you and the rest of the team. I've been an impulsive little shit, and I'm realizing it. I'm also realizing there's a lot of baggage from my family, and it only seems to be getting worse the more we investigate into things. Like, my parents have threatened to kill other people who don't stay in their lane in this stupid project for kidnapping people.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
Don't think you're alone in this situation. Not in the situation of being a hero or anything like that. We're all here for each other with that, but believe me, I understand what you're going through more than you realize.
How? Your life seems like sunshine and rainbows compared to mine.
No. See, you have to understand this. Your whole life, you were groomed to be this member of this extravagant crime family, to take over the seat, to sit down on the throne and wear the crown on their head. That was your purpose of being. And you decided to turn against that. Do you know why Moore wanted me to be, well, the life that I'm in right now?
Wait, weren't you homeless?
I
at one
was.
point?
I was. But Moore found me because he saw me as I was special. I was unique. I have this ability that can cause fear in people's bodies. I bring forth their greatest terror. He saw that as something that shouldn't be used as a force that could be used as a possibility, as someone could take advantage of me, can use me against, to cause terror, to cause chaos. He wanted to protect me. And during the course of that, he took me in as his sidekick at first. And he holds out his phone and he scrolls through the pictures, and he brings up a picture of this kid superhero. Looks like they're about 13 years old. They're wearing they're wearing a black and gray suit that has a setting sun on the chest of it, and the kid is wearing a domino mask, and he has a cape, and he's doing a little jump kick in midair, that's kind of like a picture someone took of him. It says,
I'm imagining a black and white version of Damian Wayne's Robin. With
yes,
the
exactly like
symbol.
that. Exactly, the similar uniform, the way that the uniform is cut looks like that, but it's black and white. And he shows this picture to Mika. This is me when I was 13 years old. I went by the name Dusk. No one knew I was Dusk, but this was me. More, I don't know why he wanted to, but he always had this drive to recreate this group that he had in the past, the group that he had with Twilight and several other people. After they split up, he just wanted to get that feeling again of working with some other group or some other people being a superhero. And he wanted me to be that. After I started training with him and fighting alongside of him, the way he was doing things, I didn't like it. I didn't like being in the spotlight. I didn't like showboating like he does. I just want to get the job done. Fight for justice, put the bad guys away. I don't care for the glory or anything. So that's why I dropped the name Dusk and I took up my own persona, which you see before you now as Phobos. I went as far as reconstructing my body, and he shows her like the metal in his arm where his suit comes out of. I went through so many lengths to put away my past to recreate myself. And that is what you're doing right now.
Am I? I feel
You
like
are.
I'm crazy and it's been silly to try to do good.
Because that's the thing is, Mika, you just started. I've been doing this for such a long time. You've just started doing this. What you need to do right now, Mika, right now you're at that crossroad. You need to find out, how hungry do you want to be the person? How hungry are you to either be the person that your mother represents or the person that Mika represents?
I mean, I want to shut her down or shut them both down.
Don't worry about that right now. Worry about, what do you want to be? Not what you want to do, what you want to be. Because that's right now is the only person you're proving yourself to right now, is yourself. Don't worry about what other people say about you. Don't worry about what people say when they look at you. They see you as a Hutchinson. That name that people say under their breath out of fear. You are Mika Hutchinson, someone whose name should be said with pride and love and admiration. That's the person you should strive to be. Never forget that.
I think she runs up to him and smothers him in a hug. Probably knocks him over.
I think you need to roll to comfort support.
Ooh, nice.
It's plus mundane.
Because my mundane is -1.
Oh dear.
First roll.
Do you have influence over Mika?
No,
Nope.
I don't.
Okay, because that would have given you a +1. So
Because before tonight.
Oof.
Nope.
Well, that was a far more inspiring speech than that number, by the way.
Still, my potential is now 5. So
I will say, Miki, you could spend a team from the pool from the going up to hug him part, and I'll say that counts towards.
Yes.
Okay.
I will
So that puts it up to a 7.
use a team from the pool. This just seems.
Yep, I've just moved it. Okay, so on a hit, they hear you. They mark potential, clear a condition, or shift labels if they open up to you.
I'm pretty sure I already opened up to him, which was the impetus for this.
Yeah.
I think the term Puck used after she kind of does the really awkward, super tight hug that probably catches Phobos off guard. And she steps back from him and goes, I think the term Puck used was gaslighting.
Exactly. That is the term.
And I think I'm a little broken from it. And I'm working on it. But I'm glad you don't see me as the super villain I was, but rather someone who's trying to do good.
Exactly. You're
But
right
I am
now.
sorry. I am sorry, you should call me out when I'm being a little shit.
Oh, I do all the time. You just don't listen.
I mean, okay, that's fair. I'm headstrong. I'm like my mom. Her name's Ember. There's not much more fiery than embers.
That is very true.
I will try to listen to you more, Zeke. I make no promises, but I will try.
Good. That's all I ask. And guess what? I use the team move. Whenever you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, tell them a secret about your mentor. And I give them influence, and I add 1 team to the pool.
So we put that team right back into the pool.
So you're giving Mika influence.
Yes.
And the team goes back in the pool.
And I, because I shared a vulnerability talking about my past as Moore's sidekick, and I told Mika the secret that Moore took me in because they wanted to recreate the feeling that he had at being a team before.
I would say that counts. And you were right. They are a lot more alike than I know, or than I knew before just now.
So, Mika.
Yes.
So since I have you here.
Okay.
Just a random question. Don't have to answer this or not. Does Puck talk about me?
Well, yeah, Puck talks about you. Puck talks about everyone.
Oh, I see.
Do you like Puck?
Well,
you like Puck.
Yes, I do like
I
Puck.
ship this so hard. Go get him.
But yeah, I right. And he he jumps off the roof and transforms mid-flight, lands on the ground, transfers back to normal, and just briskly walks back to the station.
That is a hell of a way to avoid a conversation.
I was gonna give him tips on how to get Puck, but I guess he doesn't.
Literally jumped off the top of a building
to avoid that conversation. Wow.
I mean, that's some dedication to avoiding a conversation. I think
he knows what he's about.
I think, if you want to go get Puck, I have tips. I lived with them for a year.
Oh no, he already jumps.
I'm texting him.
He stares at the phone. It's like, and there's it goes the 3 dots for about 2 minutes, and then it says thanks.
I got your back, even if it doesn't seem like it.
And it's like a 1 minute passes this time, and it's a thumbs up.
Mika knows a secret. This is gonna be a problem. Anyway. We can go to the Puck and Null show.
We're talking about Phobos.
God, I hope so.
Just imagining the the text conversation between Puck and Mika. You can't tell him I told you, but he likes you.
Mika, Puck just immediately texts back. Who are you talking about? ?
Phobos likes you. He jumped off a building trying to avoid having a conversation about you.
Honey, I know this.
Go get him, because he won't get you. He jumped off a building to avoid a conversation.
Mika, honey, there's something I've been meaning to talk to you about. You know how when I told you when we first met that I'm just not the kind of person to catch feelings?
Well, shit.
I caught feelings, Mika.
For Phobos? Excited emoji?
Yeah, for Zeke. He's
Well,
He's
get him.
charming in his own. Well, see, I don't want to scare him off, Mika.
Well, be gentle.
Mika, honey, look at me. I don't do gentle or subtle.
Well, he's trying, and I'm afraid he's never gonna do more than try. He asked me if you talk about him.
Oh my God, he is adorable.
And my stupid brain went, of course Puck talks about you. Puck talks about everyone.
Mika, honey.
It wasn't a lie. You
Yes.
did talk about everyone and how much you love everyone.
Yes, I got a big heart, but Zeke is special.
Well, shit, you should text him.
Honey, no. If we're going to do this, it's not something to be done over text. It needs to be face to face.
Why must you be like this?
Honey, I have morals. My grandmother would come back from the grave and smack me with a wooden spoon if she knew I was talking to him about romance over text message.
Well, you and all need to finish your nerd stuff.
Yes, that we do.
Anyway, just thought I'd let you know, but don't let him know that I told you because I'd be in trouble.
Of course not.
Big,
Emoji.
the big smiley face emoji.
Puck sends back the kissy face emoji.
Should be directed to Phobos.
Middle finger emoji.
That's the Puck I know.
Okay, at that point, I think we're going to hit a time passes little montage. I'll say this, is that, Puck, you go and visit the people at the hotel. The only information you get is the same story with all of them. They hear a loud noise, they see the troops. Next thing, they were waking up in the bunker. There's momentary consciousness of vague things, but nothing that they can really remember. All they saw was the plastic above them.
So, are there any descriptions of Blue Line?
No. Okay. Okay. And other than that, when it comes to, you find the footage of the meeting, but there's no real identifying markers in that footage that you've been able to see so far to identify who the third person was. You've left Nanny running a variety of different things to see if any more information can be drawn out of it. It's the sort of things that you guys could sit down for days and do, or you could just let Nanny do it while you get on with other stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's going to take a little while for Twilight to regain their strength properly. I'm going to say it's probably going to be a few days of you just wandering around asking questions, not really getting answers, and gathering things together, unless specifically there is stuff people want to do.
Zeke is pretty much Zeke, since he's probably aware that they're definitely using Nanny as for all their processing power towards this, so he's not going to say to check for any magical signatures yet, because he's worried that will use too much of its resources.
After the new Magna Carta leaves and Ronan leaves, Chris is gonna start walking down the tracks looking for Martin. Sorry.
Okay. We'll do that after the break.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
no
no problem.
Yeah, no, we need to, for story reasons, we do need some more time passes to be happening and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a case of, it's given all the RP and stuff, which I do not want to restrict in any way, shape, or form. We'd be hitting episode 20 before we get to the next stage of the plot.
Very possible.
Fair.
This is a problem.
Plot when you can have
Drama.
drama.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I wanted to just throw in that Danelle is doing, aside from just basically making sure Rana is okay, is just kind of you'll notice that is Puck will notice after sort of that Skylar is a little more serious than he usually is, as is obviously as all this is going on. But he seems to work very intensely. But you're able to. I mean, he'll. It's one of those things where it's like he's kind of in this strange zone that you've not seen him in probably before, just because of the current situation. You probably knew him before Twilight disappeared, but the only time that you've seen him anywhere close to like this was probably the first time, just after when Twilight went missing. So it's like that, and then they got her back, and he was kind of you saw something like this a little bit for a time, and then he was okay. This time it's much worse. This sort of recovery crashing sort of thing that's like he seems just very intense on everything that he's doing and trying to be very specific about it, like he's trying very hard to hold on. Yeah, I just want to make mention that you would notice that. But I guess if there's nothing else, shall we go ahead and do a quick break?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We're going to go to break, and we shall return and see what is happening. See you shortly. We have returned. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so during this passage of a few days, we have someone going to look for Martin. Was there anything else? No. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just working on the whatever background stuff they've been working on with the time stuff, but that's it.
Cool.
Can I say that at some point I divulged all the information I got from my contact because I don't realized I never did that in character.
Okay, cool. You pass that on to everybody else.
I feel like it's probably a text message. This is what I learned. Okay.
Okay. Looking for Martin, it doesn't take too long. There, you go down the subway along the cars. A couple of the cars, specifically the bedrooms, those cars are actually in the tunnel because it gives means you don't have the light from the platform shining in on the bedrooms and stuff. Once you get to the end of the cars, you find Martin just sort of like sat on. You know how on the very end of the cars you got the door and then you got the step, whatever. It's sat on the step. And it looks like there's like this wire which has gone up and hooked into the side of the car, like he's like watching the security footage and watching over everyone.
Right.
And he's got these little sad face emoji, and he's sort of like,
Oh no.
Chris will walk. She's not going to get close to him, but she'll walk around and sit down and look at it.
okay. He after a moment, Martin notices you, and you get the whole triangles with the exclamation marks, and sort of like it kind of edges back a little bit.
Sorry.
The eyes sort of like changed to sort of like a buffering symbol for a second, and then you just get thumbs up.
Oh.
At which point, it kind of like you see the cable trail in, and he sort of jumps up, walks over to you, as sort of like, and then starts walking back towards the subway.
Hashtag save Martin complete.
Chris is going to go. I need. Do you know what you are yet?
He turns around and all you get is little pictures of robots similar to him, okay, followed by it's like a speech bubble, but there's a red line through it. And he's sort of like standing there, he's going,
Will you let Skylar take a look inside to see if we can fix you?
you get thought bubbles.
Need to know if you have magic or just electronics.
You just get question marks.
All right, well, I am sorry. We'll figure it out. Come on.
Okay, he sort of looks at you and they basically just gets you get emojis of houses, and then he goes and starts walking back.
Yep. And Chris follows.
Okay.
It doesn't say
Uh,
anything to anybody. Martin will just reappear.
Okay. Well, it's actually been less than 24 hours. If you did that day at the
Wow.
beginning of the break.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because basically you got back from the thin blue line thing, and it was only a few hours later that you went off and did the.
That's very true.
Oh, sorry, it was the following morning
Yeah.
you went and did
Yep.
the bunker thing, and then you went back and spoke,
Yep.
and then you came back here.
Yeah.
So you're talking probably, somewhere between 12 and 16 hours between him disappearing and him coming back.
So we probably didn't notice much.
Especially given that, most people haven't been there most of that time.
Yep. And I think, come that point, I mean, and it's also been a long day. So I think Chris is kind of like, once she's found Martin and they're back in the subway, and if Zeke's come back or Mika's come back, I think Chris is just kind of pottering around, picking up or doing whatever, and then realizes just how tired they are from everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And we'll just send a message to Skylar and Pop. This is, need to get some sleep. Maybe come at it fresh after some sleep. And then good night. And then they're gonna head back to their room.
Okay.
Okay,
From that
so-
point, we'll say that you guys spend the next couple of days chasing down various leads and not really turning up anything new. You're all back at the subway. While Twilight definitely appreciated you being there to begin with, now that she's getting better and all that stuff, you realize she needs more space to herself to actually look into things and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. So you go back to the subway. We'll say it's about lunchtime, and you get an alert sound. No, that's the wrong button. Sorry?
Can I have taught Martin how to fist bump?
Sure.
Yes. We're best friends.
Processing complete.
Done.
What?
And you get on the main display the image of the security footage.
Puck is just
And-
going to. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, you carry on.
I was just going to say Puck is going to pick up whatever they're munching on lunch-wise, and they're just going to immediately start processing the videos with one hand, skimming through.
Oh, yeah. Basically, what happens once a couple of people gather, Nanny notices, and what you see is it gets to a certain time, a time code, and then pauses. It then zooms in, and basically there's this one moment where you've got this guard that has he has a shiny jacket on, and he walks past the background of the meeting, and it pauses and it zooms in on that, and then enhances, and you then get a different window coming up, with the whole matching points on face and all that sort of stuff, analyzing blah 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 blah, and match found, and it brings up a photo which every single one of you recognize. It is a picture of Maya Chantreya Sandhu.
Here.
Well, shit.
I can't believe this. My mom is. Duh!
Oh, wait,
The mayor-
Can you remind me what the context of this video was?
This was the person who was giving orders to the Hutchinsons.
Oh, shh!
At the
At the bunker.
At the bunker. Okay.
Oh, the one thing you've also found out, there's a deliberately made gap between the data that you picked up inside the bunker and the data that you picked up in the offices outside the bunker. You, knowing what's going on, know that they're linked, but there is no direct paper trail that connects one set of data to the other. Your best guess is that there's probably a mobile third-part solution to the thing which links the two up and cross-references them. And you reckon, this is something you've theorized during the break, is that this is probably done as a direct thing to prevent evidence connecting the Hutchinsons to actually what's going on in the bunker.
This is how This is how they get away with it. They make stuff disappear.
So, you've got the data in the bunker and all that sort of stuff, but none of the bunker stuff is in any way within the Hutchinsons. There's no way to connect the Hutchinsons to the bunker other than the fact that they've got the trucks upstairs.
And didn't my mom buy the building?
Well, no, they are leasing the car park by the bunker.
In other words, what we have is circumstantial. We don't have
Yes. So at the moment, you have no
direct proof.
No direct proof to actually prosecute that would be able to be used in prosecution of the Hutchinsons on this matter.
The Hutchinsons are in the pocket of the mayor. The mayor.
We gotta take down the mayor.
What's he
We
doing?
can't. But how can we take down a mayor?
First
You
we
punch
need
him
to
in the
find out-
face.
Besides that,
Get another bigger mayor to come and hit. I don't know. What the hell? And just
Chris is,
do we figure out
already
what
running-
Turn the
Chris
people
is running a
against
back
them.
check on the mayor and who they are, their history, everything, not just public records, but anything that's in private databases, using facial match to age regress to find anything on them as a younger person that might not be under the same name.
Okay. So information you get by doing a deep dive on the mayor is, as you know, there's the various initiatives to reduce homelessness, which never got underway. She got into politics at a very young age. To begin with, it was mostly, working in the offices of various political people, always on the more progressive side. Worked for the more progressive candidates, etc., was very big on social equality throughout this. Has always been a proponent for having people with powers, saying that people with powers are essential in the modern world on the greater landscape when it comes to potential military involvement. Because it's that whole evolution of weaponry. You build a shield, they'll build a bigger missile, etc. Blah blah blah. And there's always been a proponent that at some point people with powers are going to have to be involved in this, otherwise you won't be defended well.
so
And one of the big election platforms that got her elected was about cutting down on the red tape that people in government have to go through to get things done. How there's lots of footage of her throughout her career saying that people in office would be able to do so much more if it wasn't for all the red tape getting in the way. Other than that, it's very uneventful life. It's pretty much always been working in some politician's office, working their way out the ladder slowly. Then they became a local councilwoman. Then worked their way up to being on the full-blown council. The way New Eden works is there is a council of 7. It is chaired by the mayor. The mayor is ostensibly the equivalent of a prime minister or a president. Because New Eden, while it's a city, it's also the only city on the island, which is a nation state. So the mayor of New Eden is ostensibly the same level as Prime Minister, President.
Yeah.
You have another person on the council who is the ambassador to the United Nations. So that's a person on the council that works directly with the United Nations, who does a lot of backing for the country. I mean, the Paladin works for the United Nations, not for New Eden, for example. Then you got other ones. You got the economy minister, etc. Blah 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 blah. The most powerful one on that is the mayor. They eventually worked their way up and ended up being. It was actually the economics chair on the council, and then they ran for mayor.
Okay. So one, just looking at if the mayor is involved, the mayor already is on a platform that right off the bat oppose something that Blue Line believes in. They want to put people in people with powers to use to defend the city. Blue Line is against that. Now, what if these hired guns, this hired security force, was hired by the mayor for some reason? I mean, they already hired the Hutchinsons. What if they were hired by the mayor? Blue Line heard about this and took it on their own to eliminate them.
Well, see, honey, that those people were the people that Blue Line's been shooting up are supers. If they're just regular folks, it's not something that Blue Line would do. Meanwhile, I think that what's going on, I think that the mayor is talking to the Hutchinsons in order to get them to deal with the homeless problem because there's too much red tape involved. But maybe that's just me.
Especially since
bear in mind, as far as you can tell, there is literally nothing stopping them spending millions and millions and millions of bucks building free housing for the homeless.
they just haven't.
The money has been allocated. It's all past legislature.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been done.
Did we figure out what they were doing to the people in the pods?
Okay, so that's you're delving into that. Okay, so the information from the bunker side seems to be that the only data in there says confirmation of previous analysis for each of them. There's a little file entry which says confirmation of previous analysis, and then there are details that you can see in here that people have been moved in here. Some people have been moved out, but that doesn't correlate with anything to do with the Hutchinson's records.
Family history, business investments, anything like that. The money trail. What's the money trail on this?
Okay, so
For the mayor, what's the mayor's money trail on this?
well, the mayor has access to the city coffers, and that is, you'd need a forensic accountant to go through the city's finances.
Right, but personal finances.
Her personal finances, she's written a couple of books which did pretty well. This, that, and the other. She's not poor by any stretch, but she's not exactly amongst the 1%.
Okay. What do we have on her family?
She is her parents immigrated here, and she was raised. She was born here. She attended public school. Got a sociology. Has a degree in sociology. Was part scholarship. To allow her to go to a more advanced program, and she would be able to go on just a free education the city provides. So she was obviously bright. Her parents made a decent living. One of them was a teacher. Before they retired, they'd reached to the level of well, the US equivalent is like the superintendent of one of the districts.
Right.
The other one was a non-fiction book writer, mostly dealing with various. What she made money doing was taking stuff that anthropologists have learned and trying to put it in a context which the mainstream
Right.
would find a little easier to read. Kind of like a translation between scientist and layperson.
Here's what I want to know: does she have powers?
Not that you know of.
Okay.
They have never exhibited powers.
Exhibited.
Yeah.
Right.
Something else that I've probably been trying to do, and this may be one of the reasons why Null currently has not gotten a huge amount of sleep, is that it's been looking through any recent case information on known arcane villains, and trying to see if there's any connection that he can find anywhere. Just a thought.
Most arcane villains are behind bars.
Yeah.
Predominantly because of Twilight.
Yeah.
Twilight and Magna Carta are the two primary ones that would go against the arcane.
Yeah.
Dr. Twilight because they were a practitioner, and Magna Carta because their origin allowed them to combat magic. Yeah, magical attacks just tended to bounce off.
Yeah. And
as a result, that side of villainy pretty much now leaves Doctropolis alone. There are villains that operate elsewhere in the globe that use the arcane.
For the most part,
but most of the villains in town are, your tech or your mutated abilities, etc., etc., etc.
It's interesting, and the current Magna Carta doesn't remember what happened. We don't know what happened to the previous Magna Carta, right? They just went away for a while, and we now have a new one. Do we know? Do we know how they died?
She doesn't know how Magna Carta died, which means, from what she said, she has the memories of the Magna Carta persona that she transforms into, but she doesn't have the memories of the mortal side of things.
Got it.
Which means that the previous Magna Carta most likely died while not Magna Carta.
So here's another question. The previous Magna Carta, the mortal.
Yep.
Do we know who that was? Would Ronan or Moore know who that was?
They ask why you're asking.
Because I want to know if there's a connection between that person and the mayor.
I actually want to know if there's a connection between that person and the Hutchinsons also.
I just want to know if there was a connection between the current Magna Carta and the previous Magna Carta.
So many needed connections. We don't know.
Yeah. No, here's the theory that's going on in my head, and I'm thinking of as kind of meta in Chris, is that we have this social justice warrior as a mayor who would seem like a perfect fit for a Magna Carta based on what we know of how Magna Cartas are selected.
Why wasn't the mayor selected?
I'm wondering if there's not some kind of connection there between the people.
Oh no.
So that's why and I think she would go to her dad. Her dad's the person she can trust with that. She would go to her dad, tell him this is what we have. This is what we know so far. Is this a connection that we need to trace down?
Let me have a look into it. You know how important the separation of heroic and secret identities are.
Yeah.
I know she's passed on, but I still want to respect that if I can. If I find anything which fits, I'll let you know, and I will tell you everything. But until I can see something, I don't want to break the trust she gave in me.
All right, Ted. Thanks. We have so many threads to follow. Just
Do you tell
trying to
them
track them all
about the
down.
mayor?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Have you guys also, has anybody informed Dr. Twilight or Midnight about the mayor?
Oh, I'm going to tell Dr. Midnight. I'm going to tell Midnight about the mayor. 100%.
Yeah, I probably told Dr. Twilight at some point, going back and talking
So
to her.
everyone has told their associated adult hero.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, so when you tell Dr. Twilight, she sort of goes, huh. Do me a favor. You can get into Paladin's files, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Go in there and bring up. This is a rumor I heard of something the mayor wanted to do with Paladin a decade ago. Okay, this is before she became mayor. This is while she was serving as the economic member of the council. I believe it was under the code name Sirius.
Sirius?
Sirius.
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 Like Sirius Black.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, yes. Find out if it exists. If it exists, I know exactly what it is. I just want to know whether it actually exists. But would you prefer to find out first, or shall I tell you what I think it might be?
I mean, whatever you think. I'm.
Okay, I might as well just tell you. It was the idea was floated to develop a test for latent powers that hadn't manifested yet, and then to apply to research for ways to bring those powers out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of involving as to why the mayor would be hiring Hutchinson to steal kids. And it's kind of genius, really, in a really sadistic, evil way. You make homelessness worse, so nobody notices when you're taking people.
Wow. Yeah. No, that makes total sense. Sure. Yeah. No. Definitely. I'll get in there and I'll look through there. Absolutely. You got it. And then he stops himself.
Be careful.
For a second. Yeah.
It's one thing to go after a villain who's the head of a company. It's another to go after someone who is arguably the most powerful political figure on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, the Americans will say it's the President of the United States, but come on. The mayor of Doctropolis, where all the heroes have come out of.
Yeah, kind of have to be used to. Anyway, yeah, you get near anyone political, there's not really, no ways you want to directly do things. Things can tweak their noses, maybe, but not, not like, yeah. Sure, no, we'll be careful. You got it, Bob. And he stops himself for a second again. He's trying to not call her boss, because he usually does, or he did, and he's like not sure what to say.
Yeah, she kind of picks up on it and goes, by the way, Skylar.
Yeah.
You've done great while I've been gone. I'm proud of More let me have a look at some of the things that he's been keeping an eye on, all that sort of stuff. Basically, what I miss. And I'll be honest, unless you start exhibiting an interest in the arcane, you've outgrown my usefulness.
What do you mean?
I have nothing left to teach you. You're fantastic.
Wow. Thanks. Thank you so much.
I mean, the only criticism I'd have is you need to believe it too.
I just tried to do what you would do.
Well, doing what I'd do would get yourself caught. You didn't do that.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Twice.
I guess
Twice you've rescued.
how does... I don't know. And he just sort of leans in, and he's like, I don't know who I'm supposed to be now.
Oh, Skylar. And she cuts herself off before she says how old she is. Significantly older than you. I still don't know who I am. I'm still working it out. The trick, as far as I can tell, is do your best. Try and think of others first. And surround yourself with people you care about. Now, I might not have anything left to teach you, but don't you for a second think that's where our relationship ends. I will always be here for you.
And he just sort of puts his hand on his arm. He's like, promise?
She's going to try and shift your labels.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
He's going to try and raise your superior up and your mundane down.
Okay. And what is the... what happens now? How do we do this?
You can accept it, or you can try and reject their influence. If rejecting their influence is kind of like, nah, you're wrong. Basically, she's trying to say to you there that you are a hero.
I will accept it.
Okay, so you shift your superior up and your mundane down.
Okay. Done.
What everybody's been telling you, Skylar.
Right.
Been saying this for the longest.
Do you have any conditions marked?
I do not, actually, not right now. Aside from those that were self-inflicted through roleplay. But nothing marked, no.
I do have one question for you before you go. And let me preface this with, I want to know what you think. I already know what the city thinks. Your friend Mika.
Yeah.
Is she on our side?
I did, so I hacked into the black files and I looked her up, so I went through everything, and she's a good person. She really is. She doesn't think so, but she doesn't have any of the earmarks that I would put on the files of any of the other villains anyone else she's associated with in her family. And it's if you look at her numbers, she's not. She always pulls away from the stuff.
Skylar,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about data. You're a good judge of character.
I trust her. I didn't
That's
think
all
I
I need to
would.
know.
I didn't think I would, especially after that time when she was still on the other side and she punched me in the face. But no, I think it was well. I'll admit it's not like I didn't. I mean, I didn't deserve it at the time, but I mean, yeah, I do. I actually think I do. I do know where I stand with her. I think that I do trust her.
That's all I need to know. She has potential. Yeah.
She does.
Anyway, I've got some
Apparently she
thinking
thinks
to
so.
do about how I'm going to deal with the mayor.
Would it be any use to ask you not to do anything that's going to get you disappeared again?
Oh, believe me, I'm sure there's going to be many conversations before I am active again.
Okay. Damn.
But that doesn't stop me planning.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything that would. Okay. And he stops. He's like, "Thank you."
Anyway,
Yeah.
go out there and kick that mayor's digital ass.
Oh, I'm gonna. Sort of turn around and go out. Yeah, that's basically the. I forget what. I'm sorry, I hijacked this with RP. What were we doing?
We're all going to our adult.
Yeah. Everybody was
Okay.
telling everybody
Yeah.
about the mayor.
Yeah. Zeke is just gonna go straight to Moore Tower
Okay.
to talk to him. And as I'm walking there, I once again have Nandy continue scanning for signature. However, widen range to magical signature.
Unfortunately, Nanny is not really equipped to check for magic.
So,
There isn't really much yet on the technology side of things to check for magic.
all right. Well, he's still gonna continue scanning for this guy because this is something that's been bugging him for a very long time now.
Yes. Okay. So you get. So you go to, and you're telling more about things. He doesn't really have any new information for you. You can see that he's spending a lot of his time in the rehab trying to get his various muscles to respond the way they should.
How are you feeling these days?
I'm getting there slowly.
I have a question. Why were you so intent on making me your sidekick?
There's the reason why I wanted you in the first place, and then there are multiple reasons as to why I wanted you there. Which is the one that you're actually looking for?
The multiple reasons.
Okay. Well, no surprise. I originally wanted to pick you up because, great PR, pick up homeless kids, etc. I mean, you were special, and I was telling you 100% truth that you had skills, you could make a difference, but also it looked great for my PR. I mean, I think my stock prices went up 5% after it hit the news. Since then, it started off mostly as a PR thing, and the truth is, I'm having difficulty trying to think of the words that I can say that you'll actually believe.
How about this? Imagine that hold on a second. He grabs a chair and wheels it over. He sits down and he takes a notepad and a pen. He hems and he kind of puts on like this plastic smile kind of thing and goes, Malcolm Moore, you are a philanthropist, a businessman. You have been on the covers of many magazines in the past. However, why now? Why did you take in this young man and decide to train him up as your superhero protege? And he's trying to like give him this feeling of relaxation, like when he's always being
he does laugh,
and he's trying to pierce his mask.
Okay. He laughs, and he does say, as you're piercing the mask, he goes, that is only going to get you an answer which isn't the truth.
He's going to try to pierce the mask anyway.
Okay. Which one is pierce the mask?
It's mundane.
Oof.
Oh, there.
Oh, God, I am rolling so bad.
Pierce the mask. Okay, so there's no downside if you don't get it. You just don't get the information you want. And he says, it all comes down to one important realization in how I feel. You're not going to believe what I'm going to say. And that's okay. You're my son, Zeke.
What? No, I mean, I'm not your son. Unless...
Not biologically, no. But I'm really shit at showing it. And I make everything about me. Tell you what. Go to Q, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And tell him to let you have access to the folder he thinks I don't know he is keeping.
Oh, okay. Sure. Right. And he like texts Q ahead of time. He texts Q. He said to give me access to the folder he thinks that he doesn't know that he's keeping.
Oh, yeah, I know what he means. So I phrased that wrong. Basically, Moore should have said, give you access to to Moore's folder,
right?
That Q doesn't think Moore knows Q knows about.
Yeah, he asked that for that folder. Yeah.
So it's Moore's folder, but Q knows about it, but isn't supposed to. And Q goes, the day finally came. He taps away, and it basically opens up a folder, and in it are a large quantity of images, scanned versions of this, that, and the other, and you find photos of you in every school event you ever took part in. You find digital copies of all your report cards anytime you've been mentioned outside of Moore's involvement. Seems like he's deliberately, kept himself out of it. And Q basically just lets you look through it and basically just hovers over you and says, I told you last time, when you got your suits. He's a dick, but he loves you.
He just kind of looks at the phone. He puts it away in his pocket, and he rolls the chair over to Moore, and just.
Oh, would have been in a different office.
Oh yeah, he rolls down the hall. He rolls down the hall. He walks back into the room, gets into the chair, and has a serious look on his face, staring at Moore. And then he just like rolls over in the chair towards Moore and just presses his head up against his chest. Like he can't see his face, but he just has his head against Moore's chest, like looking down.
He says to you guys, I know I'm shit at showing it, but events the past couple of years has put a lot into context. The one thing you will have noticed when you're looking through the files is none of the digital files themselves are actually older than 2 years. It's almost like, a couple of years ago, he realized and actually, went through the effort of doing everything.
Like, with his head still down, he just says, like, you're really not good at this.
No.
You're kind of horrible at this. But, and he like wraps his arms around him in for a hug.
Oh.
He kind of looks at you and sort of like kind of half laughs and goes, you're not going to believe this, but I can't actually move my arm.
He you see like a hand reach up from beneath the frame where Zeke has like just puts his hand on Morse like you're ruining this. And that's it.
Okay. So, yes. Lots of bonding moments with adult figures. Okay, so what was... Okay, what's next? I've kind of lost myself.
See, we're tracking down relationships between the mayor
and the Hutchinsons.
and if the mayor knew the previous Magna Carta as a person, going back and the kids in the pods and what was going on with them, does it look like they were possibly infusing them with, because once we get into the arcane and the technomancy, wondering if we can't identify kids with powers, if there just aren't enough, then let's take homeless kids and give them powers.
Okay, from everything you've read and what Twilight told you, it was a case of they developed a test to see if someone had the potential.
Mm-hmm.
And from everything, collating all the data, the impression is test to see if it's possible they've got powers, kidnapped, moved out of the bunker, turned into powered things. No idea where or how. Or what's next, the next step in that plan.
Okay. Huh. It's not hard to imagine possible next steps in that plan.
I mean, because there's lots of free health clinics and all that sort of stuff which they could have used to administer the test to see if these homeless kids
Yeah.
were
But there
potentially
was
powered.
But there was nothing in the record showing that they could have easily set up a clinic for the homeless kids to go into.
Yeah.
But there's nothing on the record showing that.
Remember, from the data files inside the bunker, there was an attachment to every single file which said previous analysis confirmed.
Yeah.
What did the previous analysis say, though?
Well, that's the thing, is we have to figure out where that was, right?
Yeah.
We need to find Nigel.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And Puck knows who Nigel is. Puck.
Yeah, sure.
Nigel, what do you know about him? His usual hangouts?
That's a good question. GM, what does Puck know about Nigel and his regular hangout?
Okay, you remember the place. You can remember the place where you saw him last. It was relatively near. Remember, there's also the other homeless kid that got taken.
Yes.
And he was actually in the thing. I mean, he's already told you what he knows.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you reckon if you spent a couple of days, you could probably track Nigel down, unless he's moved on to a different area. But other than that, like I said before, you recognized the face, but you didn't really know it.
Yeah, Puck is going to pack out a bug out bag for a couple of days and hit the streets and try to find him.
Okay, so this will probably be while this lot are doing this, that, and the other. Okay, so you eventually track him down, and he recognizes you, not from the homeless squats, all that sort of stuff, but yeah, he says, I saw you that night, didn't I?
Yes, you did, honey, and I have a few questions I'd like to ask you.
You can see that he's not 100% sure whether he trusts you or not. And he goes, okay, but we're doing it out here where everyone can see me.
That's perfectly fair, sure. Trust me. I was wondering if there's something you remember about that night you haven't quite told us.
Well, okay. All I remember is Anisha came by, with a burger and some chips. And we were talking. Then I heard the front door smashed out and people running in. And Ash told me to run. And I mean, you come from the streets, when it's time to run, you run.
Mm-hmm.
I bailed out, and as I was running down the back alleys, I saw you running that towards it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been staying there maybe a week.
And how did you find the place?
I just heard that I mean, you know how it is. You keep an eye on the places that are left empty.
That is very true.
And, I got kicked out of the previous place. I knew that there were quite a few buildings there that were disused. So I went along and I saw that this one actually had a window that wasn't boarded up, so I could probably jimmy the window open. And I got in.
That's fair. That's fair. So, Anisha, how well do you know her? Where do you know her from?
Well, I know she's a lawyer. I mean, when I first found that out, believe me, I was a little bit apprehensive, but she cares. She was trying to help me apparently there was, because I'm under 18, a youth hostel up by the West District that that potentially had a few rooms free, and she was trying to help me get in there for at least a few weeks.
That's fair.
Now,
one more.
I mean, my entire experience with her was eating junk food, her asking questions. We spoke a bit about random crap, the stuff that doesn't matter. And that's about it.
Between you and me, both of us coming from the streets, have you heard about, let me rephrase this. How many more people like us have been taken off the streets that you know of? Has it been spiking lately? What's going on with that?
I mean, people have definitely been going missing, and it's definitely more than it used to be.
Is there something they all have in common, do you know of? Other than obviously being homeless.
It's hard to answer that because I don't know their lives.
Is there...
The only thing I really know about them is that I knew that they were homeless too.
I hate to say this, but I've had a home for the past year and a half, and it's changed how I deal with things. Have any new health clinics or anything like that opened up recently?
There's not new ones, but they definitely open. You mean the homeless, the ones that come out to us?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not new ones, but they've been cropping up more often.
Any new staff, any new people doing it, any new organizations, any new folks?
I mean, I only became homeless about 18 months ago, so I haven't noticed any huge shifts. But other than the fact that, when I first started, apparently they were every 6 months, and now they seem to be every 2 to 3 months. And, a lot of the times you're just trying to keep your head down and that sort of stuff. I wasn't really paying attention to who they were.
That's fair. So this initial woman, would she give you any information on resources and homeless funds and stuff like that? Other than the housing situation?
Well, she'd... I mean, she had a few pamphlets, which are, the standard stuff that, everybody hands you. But you know how it is. Most of the times you just do what the other guys do. I'm going to trust them over a piece of paper.
I don't blame you for that one. Now, the night in question, the night we met, the officers that barged on in, do you remember if they were real officers or if they were rent-a-cops?
I was out the door before I even saw one of them.
You got a good head on your shoulders, Nigel.
I mean, I saw them from a distance, but I couldn't make anything else out other than tactical gear. That's it. I couldn't make out detail.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, honey, I'm going to give you my number. If anything happens, you give me a call, all right? If anybody you know goes missing, if you feel like you're being followed or stalked, just let me know, all right?
Okay.
Spread the word around. Give out my number.
Okay.
Puck is going to give him $20.
He kind of looks a bit sheepish and goes, "Thanks."
I know how it is, honey. Invest in some socks.
And he kind of, slinks off.
And Puck is going to. I'm assuming there's like a group chat or something that we all
Yeah.
have. Yeah, Puck's going to go into the group chat and give a rundown of what just happened and say that she thinks we need to talk to the new. Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart.
Magna Carta.
Magna Carta.
Thank you. That we need to talk to the new Magna Carta about who is running the clinics and what's going on with the clinics.
Clinics are probably run by the city. Yeah.
They're run by the city. That means she has access to what goes in and what goes out of them, especially if they're running tests for other humans with powers, especially the homeless.
The entire medical system is run by
the
city.
If it's run by this,
There are private medical establishments, but the mainstream, it's like the UK NHS. Just they actually give a shit about it.
The thing is that there's not going to be anything. And then she stops. And is Skylar there in person, or is Skylar okay?
He's probably back. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris is gonna look at Skylar and go, "They can get into the medical clinic database."
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna hack the city.
Yeah.
So casual.
Yeah, planet. It's for your guys' skills hacking this sort of thing. It's only if you start talking proper top grade corporate / military encryption stuff where you guys might actually have problems. I'm not even gonna have you roll.
Yeah, the records that aren't public records. They've got hidden files.
Yeah. You can see the files and all that sort of stuff, and the only thing that seems to stand out is that about 18 months ago, a relatively rare test, i.e. like 1 in 100 maybe people would have been tested for this. It goes from about 1 in 100 of the blood tests looking for a specific thing to every time blood is drawn, a test has been requested on there.
Okay. So they're connecting it to. Are they? So is it like they're connecting it to a test for a particular substance, or is it like a test for?
You can't. You look into
levels?
it further, and the test is done by a private lab. So basically, bits of the blood sample get sent off to them for the tests. They provide the test and provide the data back. You can't seem to make out in these files what that test is actually for. You just know that test is requested whenever blood is drawn.
So I'm just looking at it, hacking, and I'm like, crap. And I suppose any of you are hiding a hematology degree, are you?
No, but which ones are flagged?
I never finished high school, honey.
Nah, didn't think so.
So you've got all of these blood tests that are done. Everything is being sent out in the records. Which ones are getting flagged?
Yeah.
You can make up a list of names and stuff. Bear in mind that a lot of the names on these medical files are probably wrong, because not all the homeless people are going to give their actual names to the medical staff.
Right. But we know about Nigel. So
because you also wouldn't have any pictures. This would literally just be names. It's basically name, given age, and stuff required for medical diagnosis. Personal data.
If we could get from one person, the last
one name,
like maybe even Nigel, name that was given.
You do find that was it Johnny? That Puck knew, the one that you rescued?
Yeah.
It was Johnny, yeah. Johnny is in those files.
Is he flagged as?
He has a positive response.
So if there's a way to figure out kind of where that data was going, then I probably will start turning there. There is a chance I may now want to start trying to figure out, start looking at, seeing if I can break into emails from around those times and start figuring out who was requesting what, that sort of thing. But
what you find is the information is literally just two-way between the medical clinic database and the private labs database. Okay, data sent back and forth.
Yeah.
What you do notice is telltale signs that other people have broken in and checked specifically for those flags. So it's not that these the medical clinics have sent the data somewhere. You reckon they've been smart about it and had someone break in. That way, there's not a paper trail.
And oh no, they probably hired someone from the Hutchinson family to break in to make it look like a crime.
Interesting.
Mika,
They
who did they hire?
Mika,
Yeah.
is there anyone in your family that would be known to be for breaking and entry, cat burglary, anything?
This is cyber break-in.
Cyber, like any hacking kind of. They're expert at hacking.
Yeah.
Do I know of anyone?
I mean, yeah, they know hackers, and this isn't a particularly.
Yeah, it's probably not my family specifically. They may be bankrolling someone.
They could probably hire someone to do the hacking for them, right?
Who would they hire?
Well,
I mean, this didn't seem particularly difficult.
there are a few dark websites you can go on to find people. To
Are
do
you admitting to
things.
something, Null?
I'm just saying that I've done a lot of research in my time.
Noel, is there something you have not told us that you found on the dark web?
Yeah, no, honey, come on, speak
Well,
up.
not about this, no. But I'm just saying that there, occasionally, you get curious sometimes, and you want to see who's got the next, the next version of Fallout, and so you kind of look around, so there's sometimes there are these sites where people will go if they're it's kind of like a Craigslist, except for like really really evil people. So
Sounds
maybe,
like a perfect place for my family.
Yeah, I might check around some of those sites maybe.
I'm sure they know of people, or through the grapevine know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah. So it's definitely not unlikely that the Hutchinsons would be hired to hire someone else to do the hacking for them to get this information, so it wouldn't look like they were getting the information themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And it doesn't, based on how quickly the two of you got in there, I'm gonna guess it doesn't have to be a hacker that's
particularly skilled.
Who's the cutout?
Correct.
There's a cutout, is what it is. It's, you have this person with this doing this bit, and this person doing this bit, and you have a cutout in the middle. There's an individual that's that cutout that is the computer hacker interface person that links the two. We need to find the cutout.
We do.
my contact.
I will remind you from the video footage of the meeting. The Hutchinsons were hired to transport goods from location A to location B. They were not hired to
But that
get the cargo in the first place.
Someone else must have been hired to do that.
They were hired to pick up the cargo from one person and deliver it to another place.
Then someone must have. Then who would have gotten the cargo to begin with?
So here's the problem when you're in a crime family. A lot of things get compartmentalized with like an individual. Now, I think my parents are more towards the top of this particular scheme, so they know probably most than the other pieces, more than most of the other pieces, at least in combined knowledge. But let's put it this way. If you don't stay in your lane and you're the piece that's supposed to cover up how they got this information, you get killed. Metawarp will have to show you Godfather.
Oh, I've seen Godfather before. many
Shogi
times.
Godfather. It's a lot like that.
All right. We need to find out who did the original transporting of the goods. We also need to find out who was the one who got this information stolen from the clinics data files.
Here's the
Can
thing.
you
It's
tell who
going to
broke
be
in
hard
before?
unless we can find...
At this moment, Zeke, for you, the world goes black. Like the lights just switch off. And you cannot see a damn thing. Okay? And after a few moments, just long enough for you to realize, oh fuck. From around you, a voice.
Look deeper.
Next thing you know, everything's back.
Do we notice anything happen?
Yeah.
For a moment, the only thing you guys see is Zeke stops speaking mid-sentence, which immediately gets all of you to draw your attention to him. And you're all fairly keen-eyed and all that sort of stuff. You do notice dilation in the eyes.
I think Miko will run up to him.
I just like hold my head. I'm like,
It lasts for as long as I say, lasts for like 2 seconds.
That's
and then
okay.
he's back with
He'll
you.
be there like almost immediately.
we
Zeke,
We-
are you okay?
yeah, we need to go deeper.
Puck is gently going to reach out and put a hand on Zeke's elbow. Cher, are you really okay?
Yeah,
Can I pierce his mask?
I'm fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do too. I'm trying to pierce the mask.
Okay, you can try and pierce the mask.
Hold on, I have a special technique.
Well, it's up to you. Either both of you can try and pierce the mask, or one of you can pierce the mask, and the other one can hold reserve to spend team to help.
Ooh,
I have a.
Bear in mind, time has passed, so you're back down to 2 team. Sorry, it should be 1 team.
I thought it started at 2 base.
Is it 2?
I'm pretty sure it's 2.
No,
I have +2 mundane, and I also...
No,
I have
at
a
the start
+3
of the,
mundane.
it's 1 is base, but when you start adding to team, when you engage a threat, you add 2.
also both of you have influence over me. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so that makes it a 4 for me.
but I have a special question that I want to know from Zeke. Damn it, because he's a hero.
Well, no, you can both roll. It's up to you.
I'm gonna roll.
I'm going to roll too.
I was giving you the option.
Okay, I should roll my...
Yes, burrow into your team leader. Burrow in.
He said we gotta go deeper. He did.
I don't think this was what he meant.
Too bad.
Okay, Puck, you get to ask one of the questions on the list.
I don't even have the
What-
playbook move up. Oh my god.
What are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How can I get your character to? How can I gain influence over you? I guess basically you're trying to figure out whether he's actually okay, right?
How can I get your character to tell the truth?
I think
There has...
because Zeke already trusts Puck, but they have to show him there is a deeper trust because he's definitely holding something back.
Okay,
See-
and with
Sorry, go
my
ahead.
bad. No, you go.
Zeke, Cher, can I talk to you in private for a moment?
Do we? I suppose so.
Please.
Yeah, fine. And it like walks off to the side a bit, and he still looks kind of like trying to like gather up what's going on because he seems like kind of loopy still.
Puck is going to drag over a chair, sit him down, get him a cup of water, sit down across from him, put their hands on his knees, look him dead in the eyes, and say, "Now, Cher, I don't want you to bullshit me. What just happened, and are you all right?"
I heard a voice. This is not the first time I've heard this voice. I need everyone here for this. And he motions everyone over to them. I need you all to hear this. I've been seeing someone. I've been seeing someone around randomly, out of the corner of my eye, over my shoulder. This guy in the white suit. This guy in a robotic white suit. Chris, we talked about this before, but I've been seeing him more and more. But now it's getting to the point, whenever I see him, they are there at important points. When we found Dr. Twilight, they pointed to the case they were in. When I was looking at footage we looked at footage for the parking lot, they were there pointing towards it. They were giving me directions. They were guiding me the entire time. And now they're telling me to go deeper into this. It's weird. But I think I need to listen to them. We are just scratching the surface. We need to get deeper than this. What haven't we considered? And if to mean to go deeper, is it metaphorical or is it literally deeper?
Can I ask my questions?
Yes.
Cool.
Because on a 10, you get to ask 3, and you have an additional one added to your list.
Yes. So I'm going to start with, what do you intend to do? Which I think you kind of answered, but...
Actually, you get 4.
I get 4?
Those are your ability.
Oh, no, hang on. Let me see where the punctuation
I get to ask an additional question when I pierce the mask.
Oh, no, yeah. Okay, for the hero, you get to add the question rather than get the extra answer. Okay.
But 3 is plenty questions here. So, I'm assuming the answer to my question is Zeke intends to, quote unquote, go deeper?
Yes, we need to go deeper. We have to either get deeper, as in literally, metaphorically, that there is something deeper to this, like some kind of conspiracy going on, or deeper, as in maybe they're operating under the city, just like we are.
The layer below the subway, you think?
Yeah. What if we are not the only people underneath this city using the tunnels? Because just like us, we're blocked off from everything else. What if someone else is transporting these people under the city?
I mean, that is a very logical idea.
Especially since we found that we found that magic about technomancy. Technology made to protect some people from any kind of scanning device. Only magic can pick them up.
There's a theory and at this point, it was going to sort of gesture to Metawarp. There's a little theory you mentioned briefly. I just want to check it out, and I'm going to turn and see is Martin in the room?
Yep.
Okay.
His normal spot is on the desk
Okay.
for Nanny, right in the corner.
Hey, Martin.
Looks at you.
Have you noticed anybody else down here in these tunnels in this area, even around on like some of the stuff you've been looking around? besides us?
Okay. You. In his eyes, you basically see pictures. You get Null, Metalwarp, Puck, Black Raven, Ronan, Magna Carta, Phobos. Sorry, how long ago did you say? Well, he's
it's
only been
within
here for about a couple of days, so
yeah, within the yeah.
and then
time here.
you get a face of a robotic white suit with a big red light on it.
That's him. That's the person in the suit. What? Wait, they were down here?
Date and timestamp.
Do you know when that happened?
Guys, it probably was literally just now.
Okay, you get he gets in the space at 12 o'clock and it's winding back, and you see that it winds back. This was while you were out at the bunker.
Nanny, roll back security footage of when we were at the bunker.
Affirmative.
You do know that the security measures in place would mean that if anybody was to come into the subway that wasn't one of you guys or with one of you guys, an alert would trigger. That's how the security should work.
What kind of
British round.
signature?
Replay footage.
And, you start playing through the footage, and there's a moment where one of the footage things just goes blank for about 2 minutes, and it's the camera which covers the entrance to the car you're currently in.
I'm assuming that there are ways of identifying us other than by facial because of
it analyzes your gait, it analyzes weight, it analyzes basically absolutely any metric it can pick up without making you physically, touch things. Or
who does it say was there that didn't set off the alarm?
You're asking Nanny who was there.
During the requested time period, the inhabitants of the subway were Magna Carta, Ronan, Dusk.
Beg pardon, Nanny. Did you just say Dusk?
No, Nanny, that's impossible. That's impossible. I was at the bunker the entire time.
No.
Correct. Operator Phobos was at bunker.
It's not you, Zeke.
But
There's another Dusk.
Wobbly, timey-wimey right now.
Do you have Nanny? Do you have a record of different accesses by Operator Dusk? Anything else there? A log of their activity that you could bring up?
Affirmative.
Brings up a list of what they did while they were here. Basically, it just looks to like it brought up basically just a general overview of what you guys have been looking at.
Wait.
Who authorized Dusk as a user and allowed habitant?
Okay, you guys would know this. The computer was originally set up by Moore for you all with the automatic access to Twilight's database. You know that originally Nanny was calling you Dusk, Zeke, until you told her not to.
Dusk is me. I was originally, before I became Phobos, I went by the name Dusk. That was my superhero persona before. But so whoever came in.
Zeke, honey. Puck is going to reach out and gently cup his cheek. What if Nanny is lying? What if somehow this is tied into what's going on with Dr. Twilight and All those time portals we heard about.
Compare Operative Dusk to Operative Phobos.
Okay.
Height, weight,
Gate, things like that.
gait, things like that, that would indicate a change in age.
Inconclusive.
Anomalies in the area at times of dusk.
Gets up from the chair,
Of Operative Dusk.
and he like walks over. Anything that could
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to repeat that because you're.
pretty much
No.
link
Wally, you're
me
breaking up real bad,
to
dude.
This
Wally, you're sounding like Wally.
Oh,
No.
that's me.
Yeah, your cam is currently frozen.
Hold on a second.
Oh no.
Wally.
Wow.
Ooh, I think
Okay.
we're back.
It's moving
Hey, how's
again.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Okay. Nanny, I know for a fact that I'm Operator Dusk. This is confirmed, correct?
The nation has been changed to Operator Phobos at Operator's request.
So the person who did the person who came into the lair, they identified themselves as Operator Dusk, correct?
That is the login that was used.
And it's confirmed through any kind of biometrics that I am the same as the operator that used this terminal.
Affirmative.
Steeks just sits down in the chair and just kind of like looks really he looks really shaken up, and he's taking the insecure condition
Okay.
because he just looks really shaken up right now that this is happening.
Hey, for a second, I'm going to sort of look. I'm going to look down at Martin again. Can you show me that last face that you just showed us again?
He does so.
Hold that.
It's not a great picture. It's basically, you know,
That explains
Well,
the technology that the suit had was more tech.
it looked like Mortec.
Yeah, it looked like more tech.
I'm just going to sort of point. I'm going to ask Martin to turn toward one of the cameras. I'm going to ask, Nanny, would this be an approximation of what Operator Dusk looks like? That facial picture there.
Inconclusive. No visual record of Operator while during access.
Okay.
So, if whoever this person is, they're using the technomancy that Dr. Twilight talked about, so they can be invisible to all scanners.
Time dilation.
Time dilation.
You remember that the camera that covers the access to this, they might have managed to bypass the other cameras, but the only camera that had definite access to this panel cut out for 2 minutes.
All other CC cameras in the within the immediate area, street level, and throughout the train and the station.
Okay, you look through that, and on the street level ones, you notice on one of the fire escapes opposite, you see the robotic form sort of sitting there looking directly at the hidden camera. And it kind of nods at the camera and then jumps up towards the roof before leaving.
Knew where the camera was at. No one knows except us where that camera is at.
I'm really starting to dislike this.
Can we scan for time anomalies, dimensional anomalies, similar to the one from a year ago that we pulled Midnight and Dr. Twilight out of, and anything that might be similar to the ones or give the same type of signature to the ones that Chris uses when she's traveling?
Okay, I mean, searching for the ones that you do is a lot easier because that is, to a large extent, rooted in science as opposed to the arcane. Because cosmic energies, the way I look at it, cosmic energies is kind of where magic and science meets on a high level. You know, it's that whole MCU thing talking about Asgard, you know, where their tech being that advanced is basically magic. Yeah. That's where I look at for the cosmic energies. Whereas the technomancy, which is discussed in the book, is more like further down as a bridge section, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather than where they meet. But yours, because it's actually on that curve, yours is kind of up there and slightly into the science region because, you know, you're talking about wormhole theory and all that sort of stuff with your portals. So you can check, and you can, the only evidence of any of that sort of activity you can correlate with when you've used your power.
Okay. Now I want to look for a rougher version of that, something that is similar but isn't that developed. So I want to scale down. Instead of looking for video signals, I want to look for radio signals.
Okay. You start looking through. I'll say this: you start going through all these different scanning methods that you can think of, and eventually you come across the thing with. You pick up mild traces in this car of. The way to describe it is, I think it was covered in CW's The Flash, is that on a dimensional level, each dimension has a frequency. Okay. You notice that there's slight evidence of a slightly different frequency that has been in this area in the last 24 hours.
Using dimensional porting of some sort. It's
related to another dimension.
It's related. Yeah.
Nanny, that frequency that Chris just found. Run a Doppler over the city and try to, in the last hour, where this person could be, using that frequency that this person displayed.
Search begun. I'm using the wrong voice.
I was going to say something. It's like, Annie, your voice is so much lower, but I
just realized that I was using the wrong voice.
You are 10 times more horrifying than normal, Manny.
I was so close to saying the name that's on the button. When I said I was on. Nope, you don't know that.
Yeah.
After a couple of minutes,
trace found.
Location.
You notice a now abandoned building, but you know exactly where it is. It is the same derelict building you were living in when Moore first approached you.
Oh, crap.
Zeke just turns and he heads out. He gets on the bike and he
Puck is
off.
Puck is getting on the bike and they're immediately following. No, Puck is actually. I've been waiting to show off this new ability. To snap their fingers and they're going to teleport and they're going to appear behind Zeke on the bike.
Ooh.
What does it look like? Are we talking, a night crawler, smoke, whoosh, or are we talking, more of like a Star Trek teleporter type thing? What is the visual of this teleport?
It's gotta have glitz and glamour, or I'll be disappointed.
It's a
Do you
flash.
just explode into rainbow-colored glitter?
No, it's a flash of bright purple light with the sound that comes from kind of like the Nightcrawler bamf noise from when air is suddenly going somewhere it wasn't before, like when you pop it off a vacuum chamber. And then there is a distinct popping noise whenever they appear of a balloon, air rapidly going outward.
Okay, and surprisingly, Zeke does not get freaked out of this because this doesn't even register as strange compared to the other shit he's been dealing with in the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so you're going to
goes, well, that's new.
Yeah.
Huh.
Is anybody else following?
Yes, I'm hopping on a bike.
I think Metawarp is torn between we're still trying to track down the electronic fingerprints of whoever has been getting this data.
You don't have to come with me, but I'm not letting Zeke and Puck go alone.
Okay, so we know where it's at. Chris can get themselves annulled there almost as fast as Puck
Faster.
did. So it's, if you need us, call.
Yeah.
We'll be there literally in a blink.
Okay, so you it doesn't take long, especially at the speeds that you're probably driving, to get to the building. It's still abandoned, and the immediate thought occurs to you. Back then, you used to love just lying on the roof, looking up the sky. It was the only time that you felt like the world wasn't pressing down on you.
I head to the roof.
On the roof, in exactly that spot, you see the robotic form lying like this, looking up at the stars.
Puck is going to gently grab Zeke's elbow and hold on to him. Now, Shay, don't do anything stupid, okay? Be careful.
Right. Zeke walks over to the figure and he lays down next to them in the same position as them.
Took you long enough.
Who are you? I mean, it's obvious who you are, but who are you?
Obvious. Who do you think I am?
You're me, but not me. You're me from either the future or an altered dimension or something. So I guess it's less of a who are you, but a why are you?
You hear the slight sound of escaping gases, when something gets disconnected. And then you hear in a very familiar voice, well, hold on to your hats, as he pulls the mask off. And staring back at you is you. But you'd guess about 20 years older. Not time travel. I had a great speech. I forgot it. Some things never change. That place you pulled more out of. What do you know about it?
I know that it was made to be a prison for people. And those who go in there face the perfect way to rehabilitate them. And then, like, you just see the gears turning in his head, and he looks over at them.
That's right. I'm the one that was supposed to kick your ass in gear.
Oh. Wow.
As a general rule, but not always, it takes the form of themselves, but just a bit different. With whatever unique talent, skill, knowledge they would need to make the prisoner better. Here's the important part that you need to know. First, I only just got out a couple of months ago. That's why I'm 20 years older. I spent 20 years in that place. The second part you need to know, what you pulled out of the portal wasn't twilight and it wasn't midnight.
What do you mean that's not them? It's what you are?
You see a look of a kind of like a 1,000-yard stare come across his face, and a small sort of like tear well up there as we cut to the final panel of the comic.
Oh,
Which is the guy in the white armor holding an aged Moor dying in his arms. And that's the end of the comic. Congratulations.
God.
You just met
my-
Deimos.
Oh my gosh, that's the greatest name ever!
That is so cool, Mole.
Oh my gosh!
Can I say, damn it, Mole? That was too good.
Oh my god, that was too good. Oh my god, I am having a moment right now. I'm crying. Holy crap.
We'll be picking up that conversation at the start of next session, because that conversation is nowhere near over. But that was the perfect final panel.
My gosh.
As Deimos remembers Moor dying in his arms.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. Whoo. So,
In
Pretty
regards
much.
to your Zoom comment, Jim, Null never actually stepped into the portal.
Oh,
He
okay.
kept the portal open. So
Okay. I was a little concerned there.
so
Yeah.
end of session moves.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
that was one of the reveals that I mentioned to you that I was
Oh my
waiting for.
Gosh.
Jesus.
That was like a 2-punch reveal though.
Ah, yeah.
Oh damn. Whoo. Okay.
I'm just looking.
Damn.
I'm just seeing all these faces. Are like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh my gosh. I am just so, because I thought it was one thing, but it turned out to be that and then some. And on top of that, what the moment him and Moore had today,
I
and
know, right?
out that Moore died in his arms. This is fucking me up right
brutal.
now.
Obviously, that's meta knowledge because it's the panel. if that's
Yeah,
blah,
but still, oh my gosh.
Well, that leaves the question: who's running Mortec? Who is this Twilight we rescued?
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm very
gosh.
concerned.
I have so many concerns right now.
I'm very concerned.
I'm gonna have the greatest recap tweet tomorrow, guys.
Oh Jesus!
I'm still trying to. I'm blanking on the whole who went into the portal thing and what all that.
Oh man, because like as soon when you were describing when you did the flashback and you said that Zeke put his hand into the portal, I was like, that can't be enough for a time dilation to kick in.
I said you were halfway into the portal.
That's
what I
oh my
said.
gosh, you're right. Oh man. Oh
Jesus.
gosh.
Basically, the image I had was basically you were reaching down to grab somebody, and the portal was like halfway.
Yeah.
through
Oh
you.
man. Oof.
I would just say being trapped in a time dilation would be enough for Mika to go supervillain again. Just saying. So let's hope she didn't go anywhere near the
Well,
portal.
you'll find out more about this place and what it was like and all that sort of stuff next session.
Is it Wednesday yet?
Oof.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around what exactly this guy is, and
Yeah.
I just.
Because then wait a minute, if he died, then who? Oh my
If the
gosh.
Twilight we got back is not the real Twilight, then.
And the more we have is not the real more.
Null finds this out.
Oh my gosh.
shortly, then
Oh
he's
my
going
gosh.
to lose
Oh my
his damn
gosh.
mind.
I just realized. The timestamp of the folder. Is
No, that was
specific-
before that.
Oh, it was before that? Okay. Whew. Oh,
The
man.
one thing you will realise that about that time, Moore did start being actively kinder to you, but you always assumed that the reason for that was because you saved him and it was a sign of respect.
Oh no.
But it could be another reason.
No.
Oh, damn it, Mole.
Oh, damn it, Mo.
Damn it, Mole.
Oh, gosh. I am wrecked right now, guys.
Yeah. Jeez.
That shirt's too appropriate right now.
Yeah.
I am
that's
so
yeah.
physically wrecked. Oh my gosh, that was so good.
There were a lot of good moments tonight. I don't know if I'm going to pick.
There were so many good moments today.
That's yeah. Okay.
And because we're getting nearer the arc, I'm just throwing all these
Yeah,
oh shit,
no,
oh
there's-
shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit
there's
stuff
going to
at
be
you.
rather a lot of yes. Oh boy.
Just when I think we've tied up all the loose threads. Ha!
Right?
You've got about
No,
half of the book.
This is
there's
such
more.
good writing.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is such good writing.
This is
And-
very good.
With the exception of Magna Carta, none of it existed before Session 0. Okay, I slightly lie. The image of a robotic guy in robotic type armor. I figured I want a guy who's in
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
knight armor, but more robotic and all that sort of stuff. I had that image, and I kind of wanted something like that in the game, which is why we had that whole thing of that guy there
Yeah.
crushing the marble head in Session 0. It wasn't until Session 0 I knew who that was.
Wow.
Oh man.
It's very
Oof.
cool. Very cool.
Oof.
And it was as soon as you picked the name Phobos, I just immediately went Phobos and Deimos.
Deimos,
Oh, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
good lord. Okay.
Ooh.
And if you look into it a little bit further, I will just point out Phobos was the god of fear.
Yeah.
And Deimos was the god of terror, i.e., the far worse one.
Oh my gosh.
That's great. That's
Oh,
wonderful.
man.
Are we gonna do the our end of session?
Yes.
moves?
Oh
So
man,
that we
yes.
can- yeah.
Okay, so we'll do it in the usual order. So your options are grow closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, grow away from the team. We start with the beacon.
Growing into
Better
dementia will be
growing.
next time. So yeah, I think that growing into your own image of yourself is probably the most apt for this session.
Especially after the conversation with
Yeah, especially
with
that
Twilight.
after conversation with not Rana. And, of course, this is great because next session, as soon as he finds out, it's like there's going to be... We don't know how much of that's going to hold up. He finds out what the source of that was. Explain how you see yourself and why. Shift one label up and another down. So, yeah, I mean... That the thing being that he's No, currently, while blissfully ignorant of what's being discovered, sees himself as now more of like, okay, I'm my own thing. I have to figure out who I am. I can actually protect other people. So I need to figure out what kind of person that is what he's thinking. And so I think that given that it's the moving of the label that's going to get a little weird. And the things that he's wanting to do as a result, he's very basically at this point wanting to be very destructive towards the people who kidnapped, who he thinks is Twilight. So I'm going to push danger up by 1.
Well, that's more you feel more of a badass.
A little bit.
More capable of raining
Yeah.
down destruction on the people that took.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. He feels he got a little bit of a boost of confidence from that talk. So danger will go up by 1. And I think that for the one that will go down, I think I'm going to take mundane down again. It's going to go down to a +1. And,
Wow, you went from +3 to +1 in one session.
One
Wow.
session. Yeah.
Dang.
Feels much less mundane right now. We'll see. Might get reversed
Mundane.
next session. We'll see.
Mundane, aka the beacon stat.
Exactly. That is a problem. Because I can't see any of the others going down.
I think I'm seeing a playbook
So
change
maybe
here
Freak.
coming up.
I think we
Maybe.
can see a playbook.
Maybe
change pretty
Freak.
soon.
Yeah.
Freak
Yeah.
might work just because of...
Freak could work. Well, you can't change playbooks until you've gotten 5. I think is it 4
Right.
or 5
Yeah,
advances?
it's
of
5
Life?
advances.
Yeah, 5 advances.
Because
Yeah.
as far as unleashing power... You know what, actually,
What
I
about
think...
Savior?
Well, Savior
That's true,
going
yeah.
down?
Well, Savior
Oh.
had just gone up from his conversation with
Oh, okay.
Twilight.
Well, I think Superior went up. Savior was at +1.
Oh no,
anyway.
Superior did go up. Yes, it was.
Actually, I'm going to go
Superior.
ahead and... I am going to pull Freak down. I think... Yeah, I'll take Freak down. And that'll bring it to
Savior,
a minus.
Savior
I
should
don't
go
see
up.
Savior simply given that the confidence came from him
Right.
saving.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually I can take Freak down by 1. I think now that'll bring it to -2, which is still not great. But I think that better.
You're
than
not
that.
a freak.
Yeah.
Well, at least you don't think you're a freak.
You're
Yeah,
not.
You're a hero,
you're
damn
not,
it.
And you're definitely not
Yes.
mundane.
You
That's
definitely
right.
aren't mundane. Far from it.
But we'll see how
Okay.
that goes.
In which case, we move on to what's the order again?
Delinquent.
Yes, delinquent.
Yes. So for Puck, it's definitely grow into your own image of yourself. And it's got to
Fantastic.
be in between their initial knee-jerk response when Zeke blacked out and heard the voice we now know was Deimos. Their initial knee-jerk response was to get him down and to immediately assess him and see. And then that conversation with Mika, where they admitted that they fundamentally have changed.
Very cool.
And
And how are you shifting your
thought you
labels?
I'm exhausted at this point. I thought you said Mika had this conversation with you. I was like, nah, she's not ready to admit that yet. But
I am going to move mundane up 1. Oh, it's not letting me.
What is it at the moment?
3.
that's the max.
Oh, that's the max.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maximum's 3.
Okay, give me a second to think. All right, it's definitely going
Savior
to be...
works
Savior does work, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
because your
let's
first.
do
Yeah, I'm
Savior.
saying because that was your reaction when
To defend.
was to defend.
Yeah.
And Superior. So Savior is now at 0, and Superior is going to go down 1.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Which will move us over to our Nova.
After everything that's gone on, I think Chris is starting to feel more, is growing closer to the team. For a while there, it was very much of the
Go on, pick Martin.
divisiveness. Yeah, but the last
Go.
few days definitely grown closer to the team. And does Null already have influence?
I have influence over everyone.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
That actually was my next step was to ask, can I give it to Martin?
I mean, it depends. Do you guys consider Martin part of the team?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, big
Then
time.
yes, you can.
Yeah. It's just, it was that talk with it was
Apologizing.
apologizing, but it was also that
He made you feel welcome. That's the whole point
Yeah.
of growing close to the team. You're supposed to pick someone who made you feel welcome.
He did. He made me feel welcome, and she needed that. They needed to feel that from somebody that they had tried. Yeah, it's complicated, and since Chris's whole thing, it's complicated. But yeah, so influence to Martin.
And you can clear a condition or mark potential.
The only conditions they have is angry. And I think there is still that anger is still there. There's still that low simmering anger that is pushing them in all of this. The anger against the Hutchinsons, against Mika's family, what they're doing, against there's even more now with the city and just this whole feeling of being manipulated that really not appreciating. So I'm gonna mark the potential and keep the anger because that's still
Makes
there.
sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so protege.
Oh boy. So several things happened. One, I gained 5 potential this session.
Okay, so you want to take an advancement?
Yes, I am taking my advancement of adding 2 to my label, and I add 2 to the label my mentor embodies or denies. So I'm adding 2 to my mundane, because I gained the potential during the whole scene with Mika. So because he was finally able to just like break through to them and comfort them, I added 2 to mundane. Because that was something that
that's huge.
Yeah, that's 2 to mundane. So I added that right there, and for my end of session move, I'm going with I wonder which one it is. Grow into your own image of yourself.
Literally.
Well, let's see. Why would he grow into his own image of himself? I don't know. Maybe because he met himself from the future, alternate dimension kind of thing going on. Not quite, but
he's not from the future. He's just experienced a different timeline.
Yeah.
So we have a multiverse? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's just multiverse theory.
Effectively, he is an arcano-organic clone.
Yeah.
That
Whatever,
lived in a dimension which had a different time stream to yours. So while it was only a year,
it was 10, 20 years for him.
It was 20 odd years for him.
Yeah. So I decided to grow closer to the image of myself because he saw himself, but better. Like he saw himself that has been approved. He like saw like everything that he knows he could be one day. And let me tell you something. If I get 5 advancements, I kind of, because of this scene, I kind of know what's going to happen when he gets 5 advancements, but we'll see.
Are you talking about your first below the line advance?
Yeah. Depending on how things go, his first, I may know what's going to happen. But anyway, because he grew in his own image of himself, I'm going to shift my labels around. I'm shifting up my savior because he now, because of what happened with Moore, because of what happened seeing himself, he now has a reason. he added one more because he's now officially gotten so much closer to Moore. He now wants to protect him. He doesn't know that Moore died. He doesn't know that this isn't the Moore he knew, but he now has a reason to protect Moore. He also he openly admitted that he has feelings for Puck, and that gave him another reason to want to protect someone. So now he wants to protect Puck. So he's trying to putting himself up more and more as a savior status, but it's also dropping down the superior status because he feels really awkward about this whole thing of seeing himself in the future, because now he's like, oh, because even though this is like a future self what he could be, he's now he gave himself a little bit of an insecurity complex, because it's like, I can no way be this awesome. There's nothing about this guy I could ever achieve. I mean, maybe he could one day, but right now he's not feeling like that. So that's why I shifted those labels around.
Okay, that's cool. And then we move to our reformed.
So I don't think Mika's ready to grow into her own image of herself. So I'm not going to follow the trend everybody else followed. Also, I never in a million years thought I'd give this character influence. But I'm going to give this character influence. I'm going to grow closer to the team. And really, it's pretty obvious who should have influence over Mika.
Guess what, y'all? I have influence over all of y'all.
Whoa!
Damn it. Anyway, I think it's
them
pretty...
teams at every battle.
Okay, that's to our advantage. I don't feel so bad anymore. But I think Mika realizing that they're like two sides of the same coin, or how they came at becoming the heroes they are now, is really basically two sides of the same coin. And that they are a lot more alike, and that he actually trusts and believes in her, as opposed to is angry at her and doesn't trust her. Basically the opposite of what I just said. I'm too tired to word right now.
It's all good.
That's why Phobos deserves influence over Mika.
Okay, and you also get to clear a condition or mark potential.
I don't have any conditions, so I will mark potential.
Okay, which brings us to the end of that. So, yeah, that's that.
Yay! All right. Oh, this was the thing.
Oh boy, was it!
This was a heck of a thing.
I will say I changed the reveal for this issue based on what happened during the issue.
Oh.
Okay.
Originally, the Deimos reveal was going to happen next.
Oh yeah. We went like bloodhounds after it this time. So.
Well, no, it was mostly because of the conversation with Moore.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That I brought it forward. Whereas the other thing that I was originally intending on, we'll obviously have to wait.
Curses.
Damn it, mother! Okay.
Of course, it may not happen depending on your actions. Basically, there's certain things in motion in the game world, and if things are progressed in a fashion which allows them to happen, they will happen.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to see how this thing goes. And also, I mean, that's the thing, is that Deimos has told Phobos that the people we pulled out are not the people we think we pulled out, and now I am very concerned.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Should have rephrased it slightly.
psychology.
What he should have said is, the Midnight and Twilight you pulled out were not the Midnight and Twilight that went in, is how he should have phrased it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to
I don't like this.
Yeah, me neither.
This has me super worried.
Yes, that's yes. I'm very, 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 very concerned. But that said, let's go ahead and go around and do our outros. And say again where folks can find us. Any final thoughts we have about the session, favorite moments. I now that we've had this conversation, I've been able to calm down a little bit, and I think my favorite moment did involve the was the conversation that Phobos had with Moore. It was great. It was very cool. Yay, though it may have been a false Moore, and we'll have to kind of see where things flow from there. We're gonna go ahead and go around. And yes, this is where I always start with you. We're going to start with Thtrnerd.
Okay,
maybe
I just
that's
have to interrupt
yes.
with the obligatory dad joke. You could say he was nevermore.
I could take influence
No,
away from
actually,
you.
only Mika can say that.
Well, before this cascades any further into
quote the Raven
into a land
Nevermore.
we don't need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. Hey.
I'm taking influence
Thtrnerd,
over
yes.
both of you IRL. That's it.
It could happen. Say, Thtrnerd, what you got going on? How you doing?
My name's Thtrnerd. Next week, Monday, I have a marathon. Of RPG shows. I'm running my Blades in the Dark game in the afternoon, and then I have like maybe an hour or two off, and then I get to play Call of Cthulhu, which is just as emotional as this, but completely different. Yeah. Best place to follow me is at my Twitter handle. I try to retweet things or post there about what's going on. I may not be on my A game for Call of Cthulhu. I'm just gonna warn you all in advance, because it will have been like 9 hours of RPGs that day. But yeah, my favorite moment, I think, was the Zeke Mika opening up and realizing that they're not that different. Because I was trying to figure out of character based on her conversations how they could possibly be alike, but they are.
I will say this is that I had planned this conversation 2 sessions ago.
Huh.
I had planned that whole entire conversation 2 seconds ago. I knew exactly what he wanted to tell Mika. I knew exactly how he wanted to say it. It was that the moment never came up.
TBH, she was kind of avoiding him.
Yeah, but yeah, I had it all in my head exactly what he wanted to say with her in regards to this.
But she feels ultimately like super guilty about all the baloney with her parents. Anyway, I also just want to say I don't know why y'all trust Mika. That will be your downfall, but that's me, and that was my favorite moment.
Wait, we'll shatter so much more. Our hope in there. Awesome. Let us move on to Wally.
Hi, my name is Wally. You can find me on Twitter at Wally132. You'll definitely see me doing my usual weekly Twitter recap of this because, oh boy. I will say my favorite moment this week is actually a tie between it wasn't like the big reveal of Deimos being Deimos. It was actually more that moment they had where he got onto the roof and he saw them laying down on the roof just like him. And he laid, and then like Puck grabbed his shoulder and told him, "Don't do anything stupid," because he was going to do something stupid. Like he was going to kick him. But then he decided, like, what would I do in this situation? And so he did that. He just laid right down next to him, and he decided like to just like speak to him on an even level. And when Mole said, "Took you long enough," I just got goosebumps right there. That was so great. And the other moment is definitely that whole moment between Zeke and Moore. I was when he said, "Zeke, you're my son," I just started crying right there. That was it. Because then I saw then he showed the folder full of all the material, all the stuff from various school moments, all his report cards and everything. That was like such a really that was a tugging on the heartstring moment. But yeah, those are definitely my favorite moments this week. Easy.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mo.
It was so good. And it also means that and if that file's been going for a while, then that means the real Moore definitely was collecting that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the deeper part of it. Even if like that's not the real Moore, the real Moore has been doing this. That's the really cool part about it.
Okay. Pepper, hey, how's it going?
Hello. It's going good. You can find me on Twitter at MeBeThem4815. And as for my favorite moment, it's got to be a two-way tie between the moment took you long enough. Just such beautiful writing. Oh. Or Chris and Martin having a conversation and bonding.
Yes.
It was so pure.
And Kat tries to tell us that Meta Warp is not good for this world.
Meta Warp is a cinnamon roll.
With enough power to literally annihilate us all, but
I think the difference being is that, while a lot of teams may want to blow the world up, Meta Warp is capable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Well, speaking of people capable of blowing the world up, let's head over to Kat. How's it going?
It's going. Hi, I'm Kat. I'm at Clerk of Cord. Next time that you can find me on Twitch playing games with my friends will be this Saturday Off the Table. They're doing an autothon to raise money to pay for the costs of running a Twitch stream, which Jim will tell you there are costs to doing this. And thank you for doing this because it's I love it. Because then shows like this happen. But I will be there. I believe we're playing noon Pacific. It might be 9 a.m. Pacific, but I think it's noon Pacific. I'll be in Urban Shadows one shot, which I am really, really looking forward to. Yeah.
Is Urban Shadows the one which has got the World of Darkness hack?
It's urban fantasy.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's if you're familiar with Simon Green's Tales from the Night Side, some of the darker Jim Butcher, Dresden stuff. It's noir urban fantasy, and it is an incredible system with incredible playbooks. Anyway, so I'm going to be.
Isn't it powered by the apocalypse, or did
it is? It is a powered by the apocalypse. It's like this. It's a powered by the apocalypse game, and I'm really excited to play with that with Summer and a whole bunch of people.
She was really good with Urban Shadows. I played in her previous campaigns, and they were really good.
We're actually returning to
Sanguahona. Yeah.
Sanguahona. Yeah, it's Return to Sanguahona. It's what the one shot's going to be. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. And then I'll be back here on Wednesday. My favorite moment, I think, as Chris and as Chris's player, was seeing Skylar Null get that affirmation from Dr. Twilight from Rana, because that's how Chris sees them. And so for Chris in my head was going, yes, you have superpowers, you're a hero. And so that's why it became my favorite moment, was because it aligned so well with what my character in my head was thinking and feeling. And it was really beautiful. And watching Jim's reaction, watching your face as all of that was going on, it was just, that was cool. That was a cool moment.
Thank you. That was a hell of a thing. And finally, over to our GM Mole.
Yep, I'm Mole at Mole everywhere. Stuff I've got going on is this. And I am currently working on a drive to try and get the things together to start a couple of other projects down the line, one of which is the Arcanist, which is another Mask game, but you're working for Paladin. If you want details about that drive and goal and all that sort of stuff, check my Twitter. at Cthulhu. My favourite moment, I think, would be if you took the 6,048 different still shots of each of your faces going and put them one back, after each other.
The horror. The horror.
Yeah, it's those moments of realization of what.
Oh, so much pain. So much pain.
I
but
love
it's
how
so
we
good.
were on the right track, though, thinking that, or I at least personally thought the armor was probably Zeke. And
I think everybody was on the right track with thinking who the armor was.
and we were on
But
the right
nobody really got
Yeah.
what he was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Another one. I forgot to say. Shout outs to Puck's friggin' teleportation abilities.
Yes.
That
Shout
was
out to
so
Mole for
cool.
being an awesome GM because I totally misunderstood leveling up, and I got the powers confused with the moves.
Yeah, but the way I figured it is, especially if you're playing a game where you might want it to run a little bit. Mask's biggest downside is longevity with advancements. So I have no issue, with potentially, upgrading, increasing powers and all that sort of stuff with advancements because, it makes the game go potentially longer.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so I guess that leaves brings back around to me. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. Things what are happening on this channel. On Saturday night, we have our regular Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. We're going to have a guest that night. And then immediately afterward, I'm going to dash over to the Otterthon over on Off the Table to play in their final game of the evening, which will be, I believe, Fear Itself, which uses the gumshoe system. I'm going to be staying up till 3 a.m. That day.
Oh, yeah.
Sleep.
I mean, that's so hard.
I mean, who would do
Stay
that?
up until 3 a.m.
Who would stay up until
4 o'clock.
so horribly late?
As someone who
Who
regularly
would
wakes
stay
up at
up
3 in
so
the
late?
morning,
Yeah, it's understandable. No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's 4:07 right now.
Yeah. Who would do that? Oh wait. So that's a thing. So that's going to be a thing whereby that will happen. And then on Sunday, back on this channel, in the afternoon, we are going to, I believe, taking a stab at a one of those hacks of For the Queen. It's a Descended from the Queen game, Captain Blood's Odyssey. That was put together by Praxagora Thesmophoria, who's appeared on this channel before and was in the RVR series that we did, playing Hamlet. So we're gonna take a crack at playing her game on Sunday. Sunday night we will not have our regular Dark Matter game because people are at PAX East, the easternmost of the PAXs, so we're gonna give that a break that evening. Then on Tuesday night. On this channel, we have our Apocalypse World finale. We were going to do it this past yesterday, but we had a few scheduling issues, so we are pushing it back to this coming Tuesday, which I had open. So we're going to do that then. So come back for that, and then of course Wednesday, 1 week from today, more of this. I'd
just like to point out that PAX Oz is far more east than PAX East.
Well, it depends where
it's
you
very
start.
true, yeah.
Really, the easternmost on this
On the
continent.
standard map.
It's very true. It's very true on the standard
but it's
map.
called
Yeah,
PAX East.
it's very true. They both are very legit points.
Just saying. On a
I
standard
think-
map, you can't get much more east than
We
Australia.
don't get standard maps in America.
No,
we
have
get
to be
maps
the
that
center of
America's in the
everything.
middle of. Yes.
Yeah,
On
Australia's
the
over
American
here.
map,
And Russia is split in half.
On the
standard,
American,
the standard global map is
on-
it centers on universal time thing, which basically puts my lot in the middle.
oh
Because
yeah,
the French
yeah.
no, because the French decided that the universal time zone was ours.
For some reason.
Yeah, so basically, so
The Greenwich
basically,
Observatory is why.
you
Yeah.
So basically, when you make a map, you put yourself at the center of it. That's essentially what we're learning today. So that's pretty much where it is. But we're gonna have folks that are off at PAX that weekend, so we shall not be having that game. And signups are still currently open for next month's mini campaign. It will be starting the second week of March, and that is Alas Vegas. That is a game that uses tarot cards, and it's a very surreal game where people are recovering their memory, and it's a round robin GMing thing. So we're actually going to be taking turns if we do it the way it's written. We're going to be taking turns. And so signups for that are open until Friday. This Friday they close, so we got 2 days. If you still want to try to get in on that. And we have just opened up signups for a one-shot that'll be happening in a couple of weeks, and that will be Flat Pack, Fix the Future. Game by, I believe it's Machine Age Productions, that it's basically about, it's a hopeful post-apocalyptic game where you're going out trying to actually do things to repair the future. It's very amusing in that respect, and so I've just opened up signups for that. And very soon we'll have signups for other one-shots happening that month. Hill State University, which will be using Rysis, and the Savage Worlds version of Space 1889, Red Sands. And so look for those. Anytime you're signing up for anything, you can feel free to go down below to the down below to RPG sign up, or go to jimmyosthatgym.com, click on game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. So when we hit the end card, let's see. Off the Table, it has its premiere. It's session 0 of Godsend, a new campaign they've got going on. And so we're going to go ahead and go over to there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us. That will, again, be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week. Farewell.